Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donuts Silks make a run? Can Red Small make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Ken, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich. Joe's one all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated, Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, who get produced, fade the juice, let loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a little weapon, cause we need, oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, November 1st to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We finally made it, man. Breeders' Cup weekend commences. Ooh, we pop off 5:30 p.m. tonight. about 15 minutes before the first Breeders' Cup race. We'll be on all day and all night tomorrow. We start at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, tomorrow culminates in the Classic, the Breeders' Cup Classic. And this year we get Japan's greatest horse in Forever Young, the UK's greatest horse in City of Troy, against whom I believe is America's greatest horse, Fierceness, all racing in the same race at the same beautiful track where the turf meets the surf. Great to see all of you guys here. I'm pumped up, man. I'm so pumped up. I'm just so pumped up. Often, now I know a lot of us, smoke reefer and drink too much and all of that stuff. But on mornings, I'm like, who needs anything? I mean, I'm so pumped up, man. My endorphins are going bananas. I cannot wait to get the band back together and cap the horses tonight. And hopefully we've got a lot of other winning action around us. Yesterday was a horrific roller coaster ride. When the Ducks lost, now I knew that I was going to cash the under in the football game, which helped. But when the Ducks lost and the Caps came back from that 3-2 Habs lead, the Bruins got destroyed in my under 6. I was like, oh my, like I was very, 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 very concerned. The Ducks were up too. And then, I was extremely concerned. But the Oilers cashed very easily. The Edmonton Nashville under 6.5 cashed. Thank God. That was not comfortable. I was not comfortable watching that when I went 5-1. And then we cashed the Sharks money line. So I'm doing bad in NHL. I'm hammering away at 3 spots today. I was very close to moving on the Global Series. We'll talk about that. But it's not good, and it needs to be fixed immediately. And, again, overtime, Sidney Crosby took control of that hockey game. That's what superstars do. I'm going to keep firing away. I'll tell you that much. Keep firing away. And then NBA, I did not end up moving on the Rockets. That really ate at me. And then the Clippers up 18 at the half. Don't cover my +5 by a point. We cash a jaw prop very easily. Cash the Jets. Overall, it was a slight winning day, but it didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like it. But, it is what it is. And all I care about, really, I should say all I care about because I'm going to have action here. But I really can't wait for the horses, man. Ooh, God. Oh, everything's set, man. Everything's set. Cap. Now, there's some work that needs to be done for tomorrow's card. We'll be doing that on tonight's show. Flash will be joining us at 8 p.m. Eastern. He's already sent me all of his action for Saturday's Breeders' Cup Classic, and he's got one bet for tonight. So we're going to go over his action. We're going to go over the Breeders' Cup big giant races. We're going to do all that tonight. Pour yourself a drink. Bet on some horses. Also, another thing about tonight's show is that I'm not going to be hammering tracks. Charlestown can blow me. I'm not going to be focused on these janky ass C tracks. I'm going to bet the last 2 races at Churchill Downs. We're going to hammer the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar. And then when we're waiting in between races, we're going to cap Saturday's card. So we're going to get a lot of work done. That's the plan of attack. Thank you guys for joining us. God, I'm very thankful, man. Nowhere else I'd rather be than this chair, this table, that bottle of booze, and these cappers. Justin McKelvey in the house. De'Aaron Fox over 5.5 assists at -1. If the Clippers hadn't have broken down there, I'd be coming into the show today 7-1 on the season in NBA, and that's leaving the Rockets cash on the table. Oh, sorry, excuse me, 6-1 because I'm 5-2. I'm ready to cap this NBA card. We got Wine Time Sports joining us for NBA. We got Daby Cab and Wine Time in college football. And hopefully Sweet Tea Tits Snips Bouquet will be making it. I know he'll come because we're racing for $100. It's a thoroughbred race for $100. So I know that, he'll be rocking with us in that, but hopefully he'll make an appearance. He was missed yesterday. It's not easy running the graphics and everything when you're trying to focus on the capping. I realized over the last 48 hours that at times I take Jose and his incredible work ethic for granted. And very thankful that he produces a show. Wine Time Sports in the house is going to be on here shortly. We got Gerald Jones. Best spot for him is Vandy +7. And nice. Gerald Jones in the house. So he thinks the Vandy money train will continue to be in service here. Let's copy and paste this action here and move on. I must have put stacks in the NBA. Did I? God, sorry. What did I do there? Okay, no, we're in business. Did I put stacks in the NBA? Tell me I did. No. Okay, sorry. I thought I did, but I am running on adrenaline. I hope everybody had a great Halloween yesterday. We had a lot. Oh no, I did already. We had a lot of fun. Ella was Wednesday Addams. Carter was Spider-Man, and it was very, very enjoyable. Eyeball 509. Great job on the Capitals yesterday. You got paid. Excellent work, Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Gee, it's our time. The pipe layer ready to get to work. Nate Dogg 420 continuing to deliver in the Cappers contest. Great job, Nate Dogg. We got Jim Dewigger says happy Friday, everyone. Great to see you, Jim. Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper. We got Serious Business Saturated says dogs seem to be dominating the NBA. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should get too caught up in anything that we've seen. In fact, I was writing down the pace numbers, and I was like, no, we're 4 or 5 games in. I do not want to move on a total just because of 5 games of pace analysis here. So let's not worry about anything here in NBA, but let's cap the hell out of the card today. I'm ready to start opening up a little bit. My leans have been cashing. I'm ready to go. Kelly McInnes, Wine Time Sports, and Slatsy is the opposite of me. And I've only seen people on the Sabres spreadsheet play today in NHL's the Sabres. Slatsy on the Sabres. I disagree. The turmoil between Patrick Waugh and Lou Lamoriello is par for the course in any team that Patrick Waugh is associated with. Do you think that Lou didn't think there'd be arguments, especially if you start the year with the record that they have? They're coming off being shut out. They're coming off not scoring. I am betting on the Islanders to step up here. Now, do I like them without Anthony Duclair on that first line? No, I don't want Holmstrom on that first line. Barzal and Horvat have stopped scoring since Duclair left. But I am going to trust the turmoil. Lou knew what he was getting when he hired Patrick Waugh. Patrick Waugh is no yes man. So I hear you. Play of the day, Rupee Hints over a half point minus 118. And yeah, I love it. I want to bet Dallas. And I've been holding back. I want to bet Dallas. Maybe you can help get me there. Remember, that game pops off at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're only a few hours away from that spot there. So let me get here. But if you are on the other side of me in NHL, you should feel very good, very confident. Rob McMahon says Breeders' Cup. I can't wait. Nasty Nate says we should do 2 $50 races instead of $100 for one race. That's fair if that's what you guys would rather have. We'll probably need to vote on that. But that's fine. Why don't you guys write in the chat? Now, only people in green can vote. But write 1 if you want a $100 race, 2 if you want a $50 race, and Jose can... Oh, no, actually, Jose, put the poll up. I've learned how to do the poll, but I'm signed in as Jimmy the Bag, so I can't. Jose, if you could make a poll for us, if we want one $100 race or 2 $50 race. Chip Plylar in the house. Great to see you. Bankroll Spence. Yeah, it happens. Well, it's no thing. It's just one game. T-Moss, Saturated, LJ from H-Town. LJ from H-Town, our leader in NFL Pub Hub, and his co-host in the Raw Words podcast, Marley, in second. Domination from our guys, LJ and Marley, both hitting way over 60% on the show. What monsters they are. Great job. Ronnie Crawford in the house. Nut Flush Allen, NHL Play Today, Sabres. Oh, look and he gives it all to us. I mean, how lucky are we that Ron Crawford jumps in our chat every day to give us his best bets? What a guy he is. What a great friend of the channel. And we are very thankful to add that to our analysis. Thank you, Jose. All right, we've got the vote up now. Look, you know me. I want as much money up for grabs as possible. That's why I prefer to play cash games rather than tournament games, because I want it all up for grabs every hand. I don't want to sit there for 5 hours hoping. But whatever you guys vote for, I will vote for the $100 race. But whatever you guys want, we will do. Von Polo in. Oh, sorry. Let's go here. Von Polo in the house as New York Jets. Amazing for me last night. Yeah, I mean, it was finally. I mean, they're not done paying me back, but it was a start. 9 Legacy in the house. Moving on to Devils -1.5. I find it very difficult to back a team after they win 6-0. But, Markstrom exercised his demons or whatever it's called against the Canucks. Let's see if he can do the same against the Flames, who didn't want him. Joey Harb in the house. No, I did not follow you, my dude, but you knew I was on Jaws point total over 20.5. I cashed that in the first half. But I know you were on your threes. I was just not going to double down on the spot, but I'm glad that you hit it, man. Saturated hit a $1,000 SGP in Thursday Night Football last night. You know what I was thinking, because I was capping. I got home, got the kids to bed. They crashed immediately, and I was capping. And I was thinking when Devontae Adams came back from the concussion, I was like, oh man, I know I have some friends that just cashed on action with that touchdown. Bankroll Spence says, "Where's Jose Bean?" That's how important he is to the show, that he only misses one day, and we're all where is he? Where is he? He only missed one day. He's not. He's everything good. There is Nordy in the house. What up? What up? Breeders' Cup today. Got to work for a bit, then family skating. Then I'm here for the ponies. Nordy, I love it. I love it, Nordy. It's going to be very, 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 very fun. Ron Lofton, Suns and Hardens 3 + 175. Took some work, but got there. He sure did. It sure did. A nasty Nate Pavia rush yards over. He's been a monster, hasn't it? Eyeball says rained out for a Halloween out here in Northwest. That used to happen a lot there. So great job, all of you guys. Love seeing you getting that cash. And look at that. Robert Franklin says, my oldest daughter, Stormy, got married. It was pretty cool. Nice. Respect, Robert Franklin. Family growing. I love it. I love it. So here we go. Johnny Guns in the house. Nasty Nate. Dan Kelly says Orlando can take a lead in the first half tonight versus Cleveland. This is where you want to get on the Cavs. That'll be helpful. We can use that for our live action when we're doing the horses. All right. It's great to see all you guys. It's time to get to work. So Slatsy, Sabres 7-3 versus the last 10 versus the Islanders. Under 6-0 last 6 meetings. That under does make a ton of sense, doesn't it? God, that makes a ton of sense, doesn't it? I don't know why I didn't. I guess I've just been veering away from totals. That under makes so much sense. I mean, look at these two power plays. Now, the penalty killing is horrific, but the power plays are so bad as well. Goran going to be moving on the Panthers. It does feel like a 50-50 spot. Oh, these are shot out from the woods, severely bug-bitten and wet, but still getting after it. I love it. Joey Harvey. All right. Chase says, how does it feel to be off a Jets win? It's a rare thing, but we got it. Gorky on Fenerbahce here in Paris, money line. And Jim Dewar says Bobano will be on the Islands over. Yes, and the first period over, and that cashed very easily. That was so messed up. It was 1-0 in that Carolina Bruins game, 1-1, and we're trick-or-treating with the kids. So 1-1. I'm like, okay. That's fine. And then next thing I know, it was 4-1, 3 goals scored in 1 minute, and it was all done, man. All done. Okay, it is time to get to work. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's get into Canadian football. 2 playoff games here. No, Johnny Guns, we will be doing the Dallas game here in about 8 minutes or 9 minutes, if that's okay with you. We are going to cap these 2 playoff games in CFL and then go right into NHL, as we've done every single Friday for the last 18 weeks. 3 p.m. Eastern, there's Red Girl in the house. Fat Wally ready to get to work. Ottawa Red Blacks 9-8-1, 2-7-0 on the road at Toronto Argonauts, 10-8 and 7-2 on the home. Thank you, Johnny. BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario, 47 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 6 miles per hour. So, no, Johnny Guns, we're almost done CFL. We have 2 more weeks of CFL. Slatsy says go Argos. Now, rest assured, he's only saying that this week because the Toronto Argonauts are coming to Montreal, Slatsy, with revenge on their mind. And they're going to get it. They're going to get it. But first, they have to get past the Ottawa Red Blacks. Let's go over the line history here. We've seen a constant move to the Argos. It's funny, this move has gone to the Argos, but my Slatsy got a better line on the Argos double result. You can get a better line on the Argos double result right now than I got. I got minus 134. It's minus 130 right now. And I guess there hasn't been that much of a move. This was juiced to the Argos at 5.5 when it first came out. Well, first came out at Bet365 at a 5, I believe. Slatsy can verify that. Then 5.5 and 6. So now it's minus 6, minus 115 here. We do see 6.5s on the board. And on the total, we have a 52. And every article, every capper, everybody's on the over. And I don't want to expect regular season offense in the playoffs, just like we don't in NBA in the first, unless the Pacers are playing. So let's talk about this spot. Red Blacks defense was atrocious. Andrew D says, I can't pass this opportunity. Argos all the way. This is where coaching matters. I'm not going to bother with the futures on the Argos. I could have got in at 450 at one point, and then it was 350. I think it's probably around 300 now. I'm just going to bet them against the Owls and then bet them in the Super Bowl. That's just my plan. Now, they'll probably be favorites if they beat the Owls, depending on what the Bombers do, to whom we expect to be the Rough Riders. But we'll talk about that. Let's get through this and get into NHL. Red Blacks defense was absolutely atrocious on the road this year. It's so bad in the second half of the season. Everything fell apart with the squad when Dice cut Rocky Armstead, and then they had no running game. They were then unable to have sustained drives. Rocky Armstead was on the team. They would run the ball. Now, sometimes not that effectively, but they would give their defense a chance to rest. They cut Rocky Armstead, and then if it's, LeBourne or whoever it was, they couldn't move the ball at all on the ground, and that crushed them. On the road this year, they allowed 32.9 points per game. And the Argos are humming at the right time. They're humming at the right time. This is so different from last year. Last year, they dominated the league all year long. They took their foot off the gas in the last couple of weeks. They rested Chad Kelly. Then they had the bye week. Basically, they hadn't played an important game in 5 weeks. And then the Alouettes came into town. They were humming like the Argos are right now, and they destroyed them 38-17. Now, everything changed there with the pick 6 from the 6-yard line. It was a phenomenal play by the Owls and by their phenomenal French-Canadian cornerback. This year, they didn't have Chad Kelly until week 12. He was suspended. So when he returned, he got off to a slow start. He got better every game until now. This is another thing where it's eye test. This is not reading the stats. So you could not agree with me because the stats don't necessarily agree. But he was clearly the best quarterback in the CFL by the end of the season. Now, do you want to trust him? Bit of a head case. Talent-wise, and what he was doing on the field for the last 4 weeks of the year, he was clearly the best quarterback in the CFL. Now, look at his stats. 10 touchdowns, 8 picks, only completed 67.8% of his passes. Look, Cameron Dukes completed 72% of his passes. So, the stats don't show it, but we know. Now, what else does he have? He has the best offensive line in the league. He has Mackay Polk stepping up as a number 1 to take the pressure off DeMonte Coxey. Polk caught 61 passes for 1,024 yards, 5 touchdowns. Coxey caught 59 for 860 yards, 4 touchdowns. My concern, and they have receivers who can do the job underneath. My concern was that they didn't have enough weapons. I'm not concerned about that anymore. Kadeem Carey ran 191 times for 1,060 yards, caught 37 passes for 356 yards. And the Red Blacks just got burnt through the air nonstop. In the last 8 games of the year, they allowed 324 yards a game through the air. And the Argos' weakness is on defense, right? It's on defense. So this is the reason why everybody's on the over. And I'm not. So this is it. So the Argos, so when you hear the reason why everyone's on the over, and I'm not on the under, but the Argos allowed the second highest passing efficiency at 105.5. The Lions allowed the highest. They allowed the second most passing touchdowns at 31 and the most 30-plus completions at 36. And the second most passing yards a game at 296.8. And they were excellent against the run. So they allowed just 85.1 rush yards a game, second in the league. So now we know that the Red Blacks are incapable of moving the ball on the ground anyways, and they're going up against the top-ranked Argo defense. we know Drew Brown's going to throw the ball 45 times. So all you have to do is keep nickel and dime packages all game because they can't run on you anyways. So they should be able to defend the Red Blacks through the air. And we should see the best performance from the Red Blacks defense. We should see an Argos team that wants to, we should see an Argos team that wants to run the clock. Slatsy says, what would your spread be with the Argos Owls final? I think that it will open up. Now, this is if the Argos take care of business like this. If the Argos win a really tight football game, which is possible, then I think we'll change. But if, let's say the Argos cover and win the football game, then I would say that the spread will open up with the Argos plus 2.5, and I think it will close at +1. That's my guess. Slatsy got the Argos -5 AvL over 52 double result. DC Capper, thank you. Just one game, man. Let's move on to today's guard. Looking forward to cap with you, my guy. And King Al in the house. Blessed with another birthday. Let's shout out our guy, King Al. Happy birthday, King Al, my friend. Happy birthday. Love capping with you. Your birthday's on Breeders' Cup Championship Friday, man. Good vibes. Okay, so all I'm on is the Argos double result. I only bet one unit on it. I'm not. All the money's being made in the CFL for me. We did it. We won. We beat it. We beat the CFL. And I'm not going to be hammering too hard here. You guys know my plan. I have the Bombers to reach the Grey Cup, $500 at +250. I'm going to go for a middle to take a little bit of the pressure off of that with whom I expect to be the Rough Riders. We'll get into that game here. And then I'm going to take the Argos over the Alouettes, and then I'm going to take the Argos to win the Super Bowl. That's my plan. Going to keep it simple. Okay, let's roll. What do you think, Slatsy? What do you think? That's my guess. My guess is +2.5, closes at +1. I'd love to hear what you think it will be if the Argos, take care of the Red Blacks comfortably. Okay. Thank you, Kong's Clips. Yes, I did say I did that. And now I said I'm going to do that in NHL. I better do that in NHL too. But thank you, Kong. Just trying to follow your lead, Kong. Now look, you're close to 100 units up in college, man. I'm just messing around up 10% ROI. Not everybody can be Kong's Clips. Let's roll into 6:30 p.m. Eastern. BC Lions at Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Lions 9-9, 3-6 on the road. Rough Riders 9-8-1, 5-4 at home. Mosaic Stadium, Regina, Saskatchewan. 50 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, and 16-mile-per-hour winds. It is windy, and it doesn't die down. It's very, very windy. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have this total at 51 -112 to the under. I want the under. It's just that I've got my plan and I don't want anything to come in the way of my paper. Like, it's that simple. I've got my plan. I know I'm going to I know my ROI is going to be successful with this plan. And I just don't, even if I don't bet as much on the under here, I just don't want anything to get in the way of when, I need the cash and I'm going to. Now, if I had a free bet or maybe, we'll see. But I think this game goes under. But there are reasons to think that it might not. This opened up at 3. It's moved to 3.5. Let's go into this. So the BC Lions Brain Trust, they had a vividness bias of Nathan Rourke. They didn't know what they had in Vernon Adams. And I didn't when he first came over to BC. I told you guys that the easiest bet of all season will be when they finally stop going to Nathan Rourke and bring Vernon Adams Jr. back. And when they did, they won 27-3 against an Alouettes team that wasn't trying their hardest. Obviously, they'd already clinched, but it was the easiest bet. I mean, how much money did we make on that game? It was just too easy. Double result cash so easily. Lions covered so easily. It was just very, very easy. And, why did they have to stay with Rourke? I mean, it's just bad management. Before Vernon Adams Jr. hurt his knee, He was on pace to break Doug Flutie's single-season passing record in the CFL, set in 1991 for the BC Lions. That was about, like, right now I'm a huge CFL fan, but that 1991 was one of my, that I cared so much about Flutie Magic and the BC Lions. He threw for 6,619 yards, 1991. He's also number 3 on that list, and number 6, I think, because he was number 3 in 1992. So, Adams back in the starting job, and these guys fight for him. They care. They play for him. But there's problems. And I talked about BC allowing the league's highest opponent efficiency at 107, quarterback efficiency at 107.2. Harris is a gunslinger. He's just an Old West gunslinger. Now, this doesn't make the same sense that it does when you talk about the Argos, poor secondary, because while the Lions allow the highest quarterback efficiency, they were second in the league, only allowing 18 completions over 30 yards. So they get nickel and dime to death. The Riders have had this strange season, right? They started out so strong, 5-1, then they lost 7 straight, or one was a tie. And then they came on late. Shout out to my guy, Rube Boy, in the house. Welcome to PSR Gold. He's racing today. Rube Boy is racing today. Oh, we got Bubbarito action. I'm missing action here. And Jim Dewigger's on the under. Jim, you're going to get me there. I know you're going to get me there. And Goran saying, ride the Green Riders. They just have a better team. Elaine, thank you so much. It's such a celebration of our equine athletes. So thank you for the kind words about the Breeders' Cup. It's so enjoyable. All right. Cameron Sinnott says Jets and Sharks. I feel like a stripper day with all this dirty money. I love it. So Rube Boy, welcome, man. Respect. And Goran, thank you and respect, my friend. So let's get into this. So the Saskatchewan. So, okay, then there's that. So, of course, that only 18 completions over 30 yards. So they get nickel and dime to death, right? And then we have the Saskatchewan only allowing 24.1 points per game. That's third in the CFL. They allow the least amount of rush yards in the league at 80.3. And they just stymied Stanback in both games. Stanback got completely stopped. Stanback could do absolutely nothing against the Riders. And then here, the reason why I don't know now, we know what happens at Mosaic Field. I mean, they go bananas in Regina. They go nuts. They love their football, and they have one professional team, and it's the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And then one professional team in all sports in Saskatchewan. And so they had a plus 26 turnover ratio. Have you ever heard that before? Capping football? Plus 26? I mean, that's nuts. Of course, that led the CFL in the regular season. So they obviously had ball hawks, but then they were obviously lucky too. AJ Ouellette is an absolute monster. He's healthy. He's going to run right at the teeth of the defense. Jim, let me ask you this. Here. Do you think we're better off with a first half under? Because these two quarterbacks are capable of putting up fast cash, and they're going to be, if push comes to shove, they can move the ball in a hurry. Tell me what you think of that, because God, Jim, you're going to get me on this under. I know you are. Okay, Jim. Now, I'm either going to have to bet more on the double result or less at 300 on the double result. I'm either going to have to add 100 or 150 if I'm going to put 300 on the under, or just bet 200 on the under, because I just can't. Oh, you don't bet. Okay, I feel you. All right. Big Negroni and Patty Cake sending love and blessing to everybody's action. I don't think. Okay, but it's nice to have you. And there's Smoke and Mirrors in business, ready to rock with us tonight. And Ron Lofton says, wife just got a room for 2 nights in Laughlin. We'll be able to follow the horse shows from the sportsbook and the poker room. I love it, Ronnie, my man. And you deserve a great trip. So I think the Rough Riders win this football game. I don't want them over a field goal. I think the Rough Riders win this football game. I want to middle when they head to Winnipeg. And I'm interested in the under. And I think I probably get there thanks to our friend Jim Dewigger. Okay. So there you go. And I'm thinking it's a first half under for me, Jim, because I do fear I truly feel like, what if Saskatchewan's up by 20? I mean, in the second half, Vernon Adams could go crazy and there could be garbage time risks and all that stuff. Shout out to Christopher Ing. It's the Breeders, baby. It is the Breeders. I can't wait to see you tonight and all day tomorrow, Christopher. We got lots to talk about. We're going to do a lot of capping on tonight's show. So that's CFL. Again, I'm on the double result in the Argos game, and I'm going to end up on this under in BC, Saskatchewan. First half under. All right, let's roll on to NHL. We have a game popping off here in 2 hours and 26 minutes at Nokia Arena in Tampere, Finland. NHL Global Series. And look, the record is just an absolute atrocity. There's nothing I can say about it. It's embarrassing, and this is my sport and my bread and butter, and all I can do is just climb out of it. And I don't want to look up. I don't want to see it. I'm dealing with it. My bankroll's dealing with it, and it sucks. Still, despite going 3-5 last night, down 1.93 units, I did have a winning night overall, but you can't let one sport take from you. You need to take from them. So it is what it is. I don't want to look up. Let's talk about the spot here. Bobrovsky, 5-2-1, 2.97 goals against average, 892 save percentage. Jake Ottinger, 5-1-0, 1.84 goals against average, 938 save percentage, 1 shutout. And the Skunt Blaster play of the day is the Stars. God, I want to join you, man. I want to join you, but I want to talk this out, and I want to hear from everybody in the chat as well. So here we go. The Florida power play 24.1%, penalty killing at 87.1%. Both of those numbers will improve now that Barkov's back. He came back again that last game against the Sabres, a 5-2 victory. Scored a goal and assist. Dallas power play 20.7%. Their penalty killing 93.1%. These are arguably the two best teams in the NHL. Very arguably, they're certainly two of the top 5 teams in the NHL. Let's get into the line history here for the Global Series. A little afternoon hockey action for us. And they're the two perfect teams to play because of how many Finnish players they have on their teams. Right now, Dallas is plus 101. They opened minus 110. So Dallas has gone from favorite to dog. I wonder, and obviously the global. I started my year off to a shit start because of the Global Series. I bet on Buffalo. And I lost, and I told you guys, if you lose, bet on Buffalo again, which I did. And they were playing so bad that when Buffalo got up 1-0, I live bet the Devils, which I've never done in my life. I've never done that when I had to bet on a team and they got up 1-0 and I bet against it. So I have the Global Series that was in Czechia in my head. We have a move for Dallas from minus 110 to plus 101. That's not appealing to me. From a total side of things, we have a 6. It's minus 111 to the over. It was minus 103 to the over. We had 8 cents of movement to the over. DC Capper on Dallas in the under 6. Ron Lofton took the under 6. And again, Skunt Blaster with the Stars plus 100. Nate Dogg says Florida money line. Reinhart to score. Verhaeghe to assist and leaning over. Kachuk to score as well. And Goran says both teams have Finnish players. Yeah, let's talk about them. We have, of course, Alexander Barkov. He is Tampere, Finland's most beloved hockey player. When he brought the Stanley Cup to this arena on July 31st, after he became the first Finnish-born captain to win a Stanley Cup, 15,000 people came to the arena to see him and the Stanley Cup. They have 3 other players from Finland: Anton Lundell, who's from, I don't know if I'm pronouncing these, Espoo, and then we have Eetu Luosterainen. He's from Silinjärvi, and defenseman Nico Mikkola. He's from Kiminki. But more of the spotlight's going to be on Barkov, obviously. So Richie Rich in the house. We've missed you. What a great NHL capper we have here, Richie Rich. Florida first period under and game under. Scum Blaster says, if I had to guess, the line is moving slightly toward Florida due to public backing Florida. I haven't checked money splits, but I would assume everyone and their mom is on Florida. I want Dallas. So, and there's my guy JT in the house. He's going to be back in business with us on NFL Pub on Sunday. Let's take a look at the cash. This is a standalone hockey game, so maybe it's worth taking a peek at. So let's take a look. We have 64% of the tickets and 57% of the cash on the Stars. Now, this could be different in Europe, but I was expecting to see what you were thinking. Cody. 95% of the tickets and 98% of cash on the over. That doesn't really make sense to me either. So now let's talk about Dallas. So Rupee Hintz, he's from Nokia. This is Nokia Arena, which is not, it's very, very close to Tampere. I don't really know what I'm talking about though. Miro Heiskanen, excuse me, he's from Espoo, and Esa Lindell, he's from Vanta. And these are two excellent hockey teams. Excellent hockey teams. The Panthers were last seen on Monday night, winning their third straight game, 5-2 at Buffalo. Barkov had a goal and assist after missing 8 games with a lower body injury. Carter Verhaeghe scored the go-ahead goal, 3:16 left. He's got a point streak now at 7 games. He's a monster. And you heard that Nate Dogg 420 moving on it. Jesper Bokvist and Sammy Reinhart, got them to the 2-0 lead. Bennett scored. They're 6-1-1 over their last 8, and 7 of those 8 games were without Barkov. What a hockey team there. The Stars were last seen winning their second straight game and third out of the last 4-2 at home over the Blackhawks. So there's a 2-day advantage, I thought, because the Stars had last played on Saturday. Florida had last played on Monday. But both teams came on Tuesday. Now, I read that the Stars had a really hard skating practice on Wednesday. They're a good coach team. I'm not at a point right now in NHL where I can bet a coin flip. And I'm going to try to move on weighted coin flips, as Loshak talks about and stuff like that, not be too hesitant. But I can't. I'm just not at a point where I'm not succeeding. I can't start my day also with a loss here because it'll affect me. It'll make me angry throughout the day. I don't feel like I have a big enough edge on either team. If I had a free bet, I'd be on the under 6. And maybe that's just the look as the under 6. Seeing all these cappers on the over, 95% of tickets, 98% of cash. Now the juice is moving slightly towards the over. But, it's that big ice rink. It's tricky, the big ice rink. It's not easy to work with this huge, giant ice rink. There are really going to be 7 goals in this game with these teams playing their absolute hardest, their cleanest. The problem with looking at the Action Network or any site that tells you about cash in NHL is that every game's heavily bet to the over. It's like baseball in July and August, like 95 and 98 in the Panthers game, 85 and 86 on the Island in the Sabres game, 90 and 94 in the Rangers game, 94 and 96 in the Jets game, 96 and 93 in the Lightning game, 90 and 92 in the Devils game. I mean, do you really want that in your head? Cameron Sinnott with a 9.99. Don't know. Gorky saying Florida more skilled. That's fair. I think Dallas might be slightly. I don't know if they're slightly tougher, but they do have Marchment. So, Gorky says bigger ice skill is a thing. Can you expand on that? I don't know. A bigger ice skill is a thing. Oh, you mean with bigger ice skill is a thing? I don't think that with the smaller arenas that NHL is devoid of skill, really. No, Nate Dogg, not at all. No, they keep the Olympic size ice rinks. That's always how it is in Europe. And Kinmas Rice says I'm scared to take an under this year. So yeah, I like the under, but there's a ton of talent on the ice. I just feel this is coin flippy, man. I'm going to move on. I feel like this is coin flippy. I'm going to move on. Thank you, Cameron Sinnott, for the dono. Means a ton to us. So I'm going to put a lean to the under. I'll look at it while we're capping throughout the I know this starts an hour and 18 minutes or 2 hours, 18 minutes, but I have action. It's not like I don't have action. So let's roll. We move on to Islanders, Buffalo Sabres. Look, nobody wants anything to do with the Islanders. And Slatsy's right. There is some friction right now between Patrick Roy and Lou Lamoriello. What do you expect? I mean, I think Lou expected this. And Patrick Roy is an angry guy right now. We open with that, Ken. Open with CFL, my man. So let's go. Ilya Sorokin versus UP Luukkonen. Sorokin 2-2-1, 1.80 goals against average, 932 save percentage, no shots. Luukkonen 3-3-1, 3.31 goals against average, 890 save percentage. These two power plays are just devoid of any talent. The Islanders power play 12.9%, penalty killing 62.5%. That horrific penalty killing is probably not going to hurt them too much here. Nate Dogg on Buffalo money line again. Thomas Maggio on Buffalo money line. That's all you'll see anywhere is Buffalo, and for the right reason. Islanders have lost 3 straight games. Buffalo's power plays at 6.9%. That's it. Their power play, their penalty killing 74.2%. Big Pat Jack on the over 5.5. Why don't we go into line history before we do some X's and O's here in this spot? We have this at 5.5. It just moved to 5.5. You can get 6s. You just have to pay a bit for them, and you don't have to pay that much. But it just keeps moving towards the under in this one, and that does make sense. On the money line here, the Islanders are minus 104. They opened up at plus 103. They got up to minus 111. I got in. I can't remember. I got in at plus money. Let me just see. I thought I got in plus 101, but I might be tripping. It's so many. I just see horse numbers in my head. Let's just see exactly what I got here. But I got plus 101. The Islanders' backs are against the wall. And Levi confirmed. Sorry, I have a nephew named Levi, and all day everyone calls him Levi, and he has to say it's Levi. We also have first period over 1.5. So there's a couple problems here. Joseph Alvarado, I imagine you're talking about the Islanders, but you could be talking about the Syracuse Crunch, because you didn't. You just said just watch them play; they suck. Who? Okay, the Islanders. Okay, cool. Yeah. No, sure, they suck. They're coming off their third straight loss, 2-0 at Columbus. They've scored 4 goals over their 3-game losing streak. Their first line took a hit when they lost Anthony Duclair to injury. Ken Mizrahi says Cousins finally lamps the light tonight. Okay, I tell you what, the angle that Bobano's been using with one team off a shutout has just been cashing. And I was on the other side of it last night. I'm not going to go on the other side of it tonight. I can tell you that the difference between the slide saying the Islanders haven't had a lead for the last 141 minutes dating back to last Saturday. If you think there's a huge difference between the skill set or the talent level or the ability of these two hockey teams, I disagree with that. And that's fine if you think so. Buffalo's power play is the worst in the National Hockey League at 6.9%. I know that, there's hope for Ken Mizrahi saying Cousins finally lights the lamp, but Dylan Cousins has been so bad. And I knew that he was not playing well because I had him in a hockey pool last year, and I watched him closely struggle when he's got all this talent and he's got height, doesn't really have size. Him and Jack Quinn have got off to very disappointing starts. They've combined to go 1 goal, 4 assists in 19 games. Coin saying 15-2-1 and 12-4-1 full game. 15-2-1 first period and 12-4-1. Yeah, so I'm not going to mess with that. But let's talk about the Sabres here. They had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 5-2 loss at home to the Panthers. This is the final game of a 4-game homestand. Those are angles that I like to go up against. And it's not been working so much this year, but I still like to go up. Now, I prefer it was a 5 or 6-game homestand, but I'm going to challenge that. Now, we challenged the Hurricanes when they were coming back from their long road trip, and I'm going to challenge the Wild in a similar situation tonight. I knew that this was not going to be popular. Tage Thompson, Alex Tucker playing very well. Owen Power has taken the next step, and him and Rasmus Dahlin are incredible building blocks to create a Stanley Cup caliber defense. And now you have Bowen Byram added to that nucleus. I tell you, Owen Power and Rasmus Dahlin, and I've said this over and over again since Dahlin was drafted, since they drafted Power, are going to hold the Stanley Cup over their head at some point. Obviously not this year, but at some point. So I'm on the Islanders. Backs against the wall. Best goaltender in the league, arguably right now. But it's 5-game sample size. I'm on the Islanders, and I will deal with the consequences here. Res Mob in the house. Love to see it. Okay. Big Fat Jack, this is a tricky spot. I would be on the under if I was left to my own devices, because of the stats of the power play and the Islanders' backs against the wall. So I think they'll be accountable defensively with Sorokin in net. The problem is that Bobano's angle of taking a first period over and a full game over when there's a team playing who's coming off being shut out, it's just cashing. And I'm no way, shape, or form having a type of season where I can go up against those angles with any type of confidence. Shout out to Gerald Jones here. Gerald Jones in the house, PSR Gold Member for 20 months. Our guy, Gerald, respect, man. Love capping with you. Okay, so I'm on the Islanders. Let's move on. I'm on the Rangers. Ottawa Senators 5-4-0, 1-3-0 on the road. New York Rangers 6-2-1, 2-1-1 at home at Madison Square Garden in New York. New York Linus, Ullmark expected to be in between the pipes, 2.76 goals against average, 9.04 save percentage. And Rod Zwag says, bet the over in Lindy Ruff games from playing only their second game in 5 days. The over record as coach of Buffalo, 6-0. Wow, so those are two incredible angles going head-to-head. And Textile saying, how are the Sabres after a couple days rest? Well, it's a tricky thing psychologically now, and I know I put too much into it. But it's a tricky thing psychologically because, not only are they on rest, but they're planning on leaving. Now, it's just, I believe, a 1-game trip, so it's not too big of a deal. But they're, look, Islanders' backs are against the wall. Patrick Waugh is as angry as can be. I think they're going to come out flying. Abel Alvarez says, Dodgers championship parade today on Fernando Valenzuela's birthday. That's special, Abel, and Dodger fans deserve it because they took a lot of heat. And I was one of them that didn't really respect the COVID World Series. This one's a real one. Everybody respects it. Let's get into Senators, Rangers here. We're going to go into the line of history first here. The Rangers are now, depending where you shop, but they got up to minus 189 here 40 minutes ago. Now they're back at minus 175. So they've had a slight move towards the Ottawa Senators. From a total standpoint, this is a 6.5. It's juiced to the under. This has moved to the over very, very slightly. And I want here badly. And I bet the Rangers. Now, Senators coming off an 8-1 win at home over St. Louis on Tuesday night. So are we thinking about how dominant they looked against the Blues? Or are we thinking about them allowing 11 goals in their previous 2 games? Before that. Now, their power play, 42.9%, second in the NHL behind the Jets, penalty killing 76%. The Rangers are just a complete squad that's lost 2 of 3. They've lost 2 of 3 games. They lose 5-3 to the Capitals on Tuesday night. They're a completely healthy group. I think they fire back, and I think they're full intensity, and I think they beat the Rangers. I got the -1 line at minus 115. Nate Dogg on the other side, Ottawa money line, first period over, and Kachuk to score. Richie Rich is with me. Rangers all day, and they can get 4 goals. The Rangers are an elite hockey team. Now they haven't proven themselves in the playoffs, but they're an elite hockey team. You have an Ottawa Senators team that's coming off an 8-1 blowout to feel good about themselves. They don't have Shane Pinto, who's out with an undisclosed injury. We know how important he is. Artem Zub is dealing with a concussion, and David Perron has this very, very difficult situation with his infant daughter, and is away from the team. I want to fade teams off of giant wins. I want to back teams off of losses. I prefer to back the better hockey team in a game. And this, if the Senators weren't, scoring as many goals as they are scoring, this would be a minus 210, minus 220, and maybe it ends up there. I'm on the New York Rangers on the -1 line. So let's roll. Slatsy says Ottawa scored 34 goals in the last 7 games. I tell you, they're going to be talking about that in that Rangers room. So Malamel says makes sense to me. Kraken wins 8-2, then gets smoked. I love those spots. The situational spots is my favorite thing in capping. Let's roll on. 7 p.m. Eastern. The Winnipeg Jets 9-1-0, undefeated, 5-0 on the road at the Columbus Blue Jackets. 5-3-1, 4-2-0, 4-2, and 4-2-0 at home. Columbus playing good hockey right now. Rod Zwacky says bet under the total in the Rangers away games after a loss by 2. Oh, sorry. Rod Zwacky just retracted because they're at home. Okay. Let's roll into the line history here for this one. We have the total at 6.5. It's minus 107 to the over 1.5. This opened up at 6 and this moved to 6.5. Let's get into the money line here for this one. We have Columbus at plus 141. It's a very fishy line. It's gone from plus 158 to plus 141 because cappers are making a lot of money off the Columbus Blue Jackets right now. They're playing good hockey. Mally Mal says Jets overs being cashing blindly. Well, yeah, but that didn't start until they came back home, right? Remember they had back-to-back 2-1 overtime victories, and then they came back home. But yes, they've been scoring a lot of goals. Winnipeg power play at 44.8%. Hellebuck, doing his thing. 2.12 goals against average, 923 save percentage. Merzlikins 2-2, 2.05 goals against average, 925 save percentage, 1 shutout. Is it finally the time for Merzlikins to step up and show that he can be a number 1 goaltender in the NHL? Because he's certainly doing that, and he has every reason. Oh, and Comrie likely for Winnipeg. That's the move. Okay, thank you, Coin. Okay, thank you. So this isn't a move based upon money necessarily. It's based upon the goalie change from Hellebuck to Comrie. That's important, Coin. Thank you so much. Nate Dogg on the first period over and the full game over. Jets bounce back from their first loss this season with 6-2 win at Detroit on Wednesday night. They lead the league. They're a healthy group. Scheifele and Kyle Connor are incredible hockey players. I mean, Scheifele just does it all. You put him in every single situation. He'll be on Team Canada here. And they'll probably have to play against Kyle Connor on Team America. At this point, if you look at the Four Nations Cup rosters, America has the best team. And that doesn't mean I'm going to bet them. But they have the best hockey team, unfortunately. And it pains me to say that out loud. We'll see how things change. And heart and soul gets involved. And so we'll see. But that America team is just the nastiest hockey team I've ever seen in my life. So, with the 1987 Rendezvous Canada team, Lemieux, Gretzky, Howard-Chuck, and more, take them on. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I have to think about that. So, yes, Ken Mizrahi, all night. We start at 5:30 p.m. here, all night tonight, and then all day and all night tomorrow, my man. And we need you. So, Kyle Connor, by the way, just very quickly, he's spectacular. He's a phenomenal hockey player. And his contract finishes next year. And for you Detroit Red Wing fans, the rumor is that he does not want to go to a big city. He doesn't want he's a small town. He's from a small town in Michigan. And that the rumor is there's only one team other than Winnipeg that he will play for. That's the Detroit Red Wings. So, keep that in your mind. That's just rumors as well. So, and then you add Morrissey to Scheifele and Connor. What a nucleus. The Jackets coming off their third win in 4 games, 2-0 at home over the Islanders on Wednesday. They've outscored their opposition 8-1 over the first 2 games of the 3-game homestand. This team is moving in the right direction. But, I don't want them here against the Jets. But maybe this is the right time to back them. I don't want them. The Jackets have outscored their opposition 8-1 over the last 2 games. And what are they just going to smoke the Jets here? I do not feel comfortable. By the way, Slatsy says Lamar Jackson missed 2nd straight day of practice with a back issue. That's uncomfortable. Philly Eagle Flyer says Jets Jackets feels like an over. I'm off of this spot. Richie Rich says Columbus game no play will only live play. I don't like anything. Nate Dogg with Connor to score. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Lightning, 7-3-0, 3-2-0 on the road at the Minnesota Wild, 6-1-2, 1-0-1 at home. We're at Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. So one of the problems with betting against or using an angle to bet against a team is you have to bet against some elite hockey teams in this situation. And it burnt me last night. The Canes were coming home from a long trip, not as long as this Minnesota Wild trip, but they were coming home from a long trip. The Bruins are just a bad hockey team. Wildly. I can't believe I'm saying that. But, and it cost me money. It cost me a lot of money because I was also on the under. Here, how high I am on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I made a lot of money on the Lightning. I've got futures on them over 98.5 points, win the division, the Atlantic at plus 450, and win the conference at plus 900. I'm very high on them. And here, I'm going to challenge this angle again that's been so good to me in the past. That Minnesota Wild are coming back from a 7-game road trip. They haven't played at home since Saturday, October 12th. They're coming off that emotional 5-3 win at Pittsburgh and Marc-Andre Fleury's final game at Pittsburgh. And I'm going to fade them here. And it's not comfortable, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to fade them. I got minus 106. Right now, this is a... Damn, no. It's a plus 103. Ugh, I don't like that. But I got to deal with it. Really, there's been very little movement. It was just that I bet it at the wrong time because Minnesota opened up at minus 111. They're now minus 113. Look, I don't like seeing that. I have to deal with it. This is a total at 6. It's minus 110 to the over. This got up to 6.5 for a cup of coffee. I don't want to mess with the total. Vasilevsky's playing well. Philip Gustafson's playing very well. 4-1-1, 2.17 goals against average, 9.22 save percentage. Vasilevsky, 2.47 goals against average, 9.11 save percentage. Tampa Bay power play at 14.7%, penalty killing 72.2%. Minnesota 25.8%, power play 70.6% penalty killing. Richie Rich says Minnesota fade all day. Keep an eye on what Richie Rich does. He's a phenomenal NHL capper. Lightning coming off their third straight win 5-2 at Colorado, and Eric Cernak day-to-day with an upper body injury. We see them slip when they lose, when they don't have Cernak, a valuable defenseman. Rodswag says bet against road teams against the money line. Extremely tired team playing 8 or more games in 14 days in a game involving 2 good teams since when a home team 30-7. So he's on the wild money line. Rodswacky, out of interest, what are the angles of a team coming home off of a 7-game road trip? They haven't played at home since October 12th. I would like to know. By the way, Slatsy, a little concerned now for the first time with Devin Levi. And I hate to say it, Slatsy, but I find your concern appealing. And it's making me feel a little less concerned. And Mally Mouse is very concerning. Okay, this is all good. Okay, but I don't want you guys to lose money. It's not like that. So here we go. I'm on the Lightning. What angle means the most to you here? An extremely tired team playing 8 games or more in 14 days. Let's just go over that. Or a team coming off extremely emotional victory in the 7-game road trip and coming back home. For me, it's not that the Lightning are tired, because I honestly don't think they're that tired. It was a very, very easy victory that they had. We only have 1 game left before we get into college football with Daby Cab and Wine Time. But let's just get into this here. So we last saw Colorado's been playing every 2 nights. That's it. They have not played back-to-back over the last 5. This is just playoff hockey. That's a rhythm to me, right? I mean, look at this. So they had the 3 games in 4 nights. We're talking a week ago. So since Tuesday, October 22nd, and Thursday, October 24th, Saturday, October 26th, Monday, October 28th, Wednesday, October 30th, then Friday, November 1st, Sunday, November 3rd, Tuesday, November 5th, Thursday, November 7th. And they're in the midst of the 2nd game of a road trip. So they're how about this? I'll take this even further. If Tampa Bay beats Minnesota tonight, I'll bet them to beat Winnipeg on Sunday. And then I'll bet them on the puck line to beat St. Louis on Tuesday. Because they're just playing that playoff type game. Rodswag says, I usually play that angle and did with Fade in Carolina last night. And it cost me money, but not here. I will take the Wild. Yeah, it cost me money too. All right, there we go. Shout out to my guy, Lucky Lefty. Cash rules everything around me. Okay, here we go. I'm on the Lightning, and you can get plus money right now if you want it. Move on to the final game on the card, 9 p.m. Eastern. New Jersey Devils 7-4-2, 4-2-0 on the road. The Calgary Flames 5-4-1, 3-2-0 home. So you talk about the angles, like, Rod's Wacky was on it too, and it cost us money. And I was on it with the Devils starting their road trip in Vancouver. And Markstrom came to play. Markstrom, and there's my guy Tom Miggins in the house. Markstrom came to play. Markstrom smashed and grabbed the Canucks. Canucks looked terrible. Canucks lost 6-0. I'll be on the Canucks tomorrow night for a bounce back opportunity. And yeah, what can I say? Is Markstrom going to do the same thing to the Flames? In watching the Flames lose the way they have is really aggravating because, I don't think they're a good hockey team. I think they're bad. I think that start was just make-believe. They come in off their 4 straight loss, 5-1 at Utah. They've been outscored 19-6 over these 4 games, and I'm not sitting here making money off them, and it makes me so angry. So angry. The Devils coming off their 2nd straight win, 6-0 at Vancouver, started 3-game Western Canada trip. This is also an interesting trip because it's just 3 games in Western Canada, and then they head home. This isn't like a 5 or 6 game trip where we can, pick the spots to fade them. I do not want the Calgary Flames ever. I want to fade them and fade them and fade them. And the Devils, I don't know what to do. After a 6-0 win, I would like to fade them. But is Markstrom, is this like the we're here for you Markstrom trip? A Nate Dogg on Calgary money line, Kadri to score, Coleman to score, and Huberdeau for an assist. I like that, JPZ. Let's get it. So, yes, Billy Friedrich. It was not easy last night, and the Bruins really hurt. that whole thing. So look, I'm off of this hockey game. I'm off of Devils Flames. I don't want to back the Devils after a 6-0 win in Vancouver, and I just never want to back the Flames. And so I've got 3 spots on the card for this evening. Rangers -1, -115. Islanders +101, and the Lightning -106. And then, for you guys, the line move towards the Islanders then is just simply based on, it's only based on the goaltending change. So, and it moved to -111 with the goaltending change. And then when the Sabres were plus money, they got hit by Sharps, it looks like. So I wouldn't be too concerned if you're on the Sabres. There you go. That is NHL for today. And, it was very important to me to change Canadian football around, because why talk about it if we're not going to make money on it? And it's just me doing it solo. This is times 10 in NHL. I turn this around. Or I quit. I turn this around or I won't be here. Okay, let's get into college football here. Wine Time going to be here shortly. And Rod Zwag says, bet over the total in New Jersey games after scoring 4 goals or more in 2 straight games over record in 2024, 12-1. Wow. And best bets for DC Capper is the Islanders in the under 6. Oh, wow, I like that. Rangers and Lightning for JPZ, laughing at me on the Islanders. I love capping with you, JPZ, my man. Okay, let's roll. We go into college football. Again, we got a really nice looking 3-game slate here in college football. And I'm excited to cap with you guys and you NHL cappers that jump with us to start out these Thursday and Friday shows. And we'll be back to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, of course, as soon as we get into the NFL playoffs. Yeah, Sharks did help us get some money back. Oh, that was... the 6-on-4 for the last minute of the game. I mean, that's tough to handle that stuff, man. It's tough to handle it. All right, time to get into college football, and your next guest is running hot. He's now back where he was last year in college basketball, over 60% on our show. And I see him sometimes on Twitter saying, oh, there'll be more volume soon. I don't need any more volume. All we want from this man is winners. And he, with Peter Loshak, has... Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Let me get this up here. That's Wine Time's very strong record as well. Our next guest with Peter Loshak and on with Jose as well, because he did it with, has given us 6 straight winners. 6 straight winners. Started with USC first half +3, Georgia first half +3.5, Miami first half -3, Miami full game -4, and then back-to-back weeks on his Aggies. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, the star of Medicate Mondays, the star of tailgating, and a big part of our channel, our friend Dabra Kadabra. Dabby, how are you?
Jimmy, this weekend, man, it's like you've got the races, right? We've got college football, and then Monday, Gonzaga, Baylor, college basketball starts, but particularly that Gonzaga Baylor game. Dude, this is it. This is why we gamble. This is why we do the show. This is the time of year we live for, man. It
is. And I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Doesn't it feel it's so weird?
Yeah.
It feels so weird.
Weird.
Skunk Blaster, extra heavy on FAU money line and Yale money line. It is great to see you, my friend. So, we have decided for you, college football fans, that if you want to come and live bet the college football game, you're going to do it with us on the horse racing channel. Is that being for our horse races tomorrow? That's confirmed. We're going to do that.
Yeah, I think that's perfect too, because we got the Penn State game early, Penn State, Ohio State. So we'll get on that. We can talk about that, and then A&M game, South Carolina, later on at night. So if you guys are still live for that, I can come.
Oh, we're still live. We're still live. We'll be heavily intoxicated and very live, hopefully in good spirits. Yeah, so you can jump on anytime. So any live betting that wants to be made on our horse racing show, come join us and do it. So, so you remember, Cab, you were uncomfortable when you were you were actually 10-9. You were uncomfortable. You have pulled off 6 straight winners here for us. Now 15-9, 62.5%. Your ROI over 20%. Nobody needs more volume. Nobody.
I tell you what, man, we talk about it like doing this publicly. The college basketball season was great last year. Baseball drained me. It took a lot out of me because I barely was positive throughout the season. And I was real happy to be positive, but it's like I need more money to feed my family at the same time. So it's an interesting thing we do here. But yeah, it feels good to be back up. We just got to keep pushing. That's all it is.
We figured it out though with you. We figured out how to do your sweet spot. That it's not we don't need you to cap the whole card. We just need your best bets, and that takes the pressure off, and then you don't add things. So again, if this is something that's going to be happening more consistently in your capping, that this volume goes down, there's only one thing that has to happen, and that's the unit size goes up. There you go. Hey, and my unit size is bigger this year in college football than it's ever been. So simple. It's real simple. So if it's 300 right now, maybe you think about 500. And I know you do drop a lot of $500 bets, but that's all that has to happen. Just unit size go up. All right, let's bring on our next guest here. He's ready to rock with us, and he's been spectacular all year and coming off a rare, tough week. A very, very rare, tough week for him. That hasn't changed his excellence this year. 34-27, 55.7% plus 3.95 units, ROI plus 6.48%, average line minus 112. You guys have both been excellent this year. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California, our friend Wine Time Sports in the house. Wine Time, what's good, man? How are you?
What up, boys? Good to be here with you guys on a Friday, man. Am I looking good? Everything looks good right now, yeah?
You are in business, my friend. Okay. Let's get right to work, fellas. Let me set this all up and get this all rolling here. Sorry, give me 1 second. And let's attack. So we start at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. We have the Georgia State Panthers, 2-5. Lost every game they played on the road this year. Not looked good on the road. 0-3 on the road at UConn. 5-3, 5-1 at home. We're at Pratt & Whitney Stadium in East Hartford, Connecticut. 66 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow, and then see what we are dealing with some X's and O's here. Sorry, there we go. Okay, let's roll. Sorry, here we go. Okay, so from a line history standpoint, we have right now, come on here. Sorry, guys. I should have had this all set up. We have Connecticut minus 7.5. Minus 7.5. Now, that's plus money. So you can pay to get this down to a 7. This opened up. There's been a ton of movement on this game. So this opened up at 7, and it was juiced towards the Huskies, and it got up to 9. This was a legit 9 yesterday. And then buyback on the Panthers dropped it down to 7.5. We still have had movement towards these Huskies. From a total standpoint here, we have, sorry about that. Here we go. A 47.5, and it is minus 109 to the under. It's slightly juiced to the under. This opened up at 48.5, and it moved to 48 this morning. There was no movement on the total until this morning, and now we have a 1-point move towards the under. When we get to the cash flow, we have 88% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on UConn. Where did this buyback happen, and why did the books decide to bring it back from the 9 to the 7.5? On the total, you have 68% of tickets and 65% cash on the over, and we have dropped a point. Matty Ice says UConn as a big favorite. No thanks. Mally Mouse says sounds like a UConn first half spot. So here we go. And is it confirmed that Barzal is out of the lineup, Turnsy? Because I had him as in this morning. Can you double check that? Because that will make me extremely uncomfortable, Turnsy. Can you double check that? Then let's talk about the situation here. We have UConn. We've watched this team get better and better over the last couple of years due to coaching. They've on a nice run here. They've been playing all these games at home. They haven't lost. They did lose the one to Wake Forest 23-20. Georgia State's lost 4 straight games. They're coming off this loss to App State. This is their 3rd straight game on the road. Are we asking too much from them? Is this how you turn it around? Is this a 4th straight road game? I mean, I find that so difficult to imagine. The loss against App State. We've seen App State look so bad at times this year. App State was 7.5-point favorite, so Georgia State did cover. Let's hear from our experts. We will start with you, Wine Time Sports. We'll go to Daby Cab to get us started in South Florida, Florida Atlantic. We'll go back to you, Wine Time, for San Diego State, Boise State. Take it away, Wine Time. Georgia State Panthers, UConn Huskies, Pratt Whitney Stadium.
Yeah, Jim. Jim Moore, man, taking over the head coaching position here at UConn. I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago. He inherited a program that wasn't winning. I mean, I believe they won one game, was 2 years ago. Looking at him now, man, having a good start to the season, man. They have this program heading in the right direction. That's what Jim Moore does, man. Big fan of this guy. I like what he does, how he builds his cultures over there. He builds a brotherhood that turns into a program. We've seen him do big things. We've seen him develop a lot of NFL talent in the past. Over being the head coach at UCLA, a lot of his guys that he recruited and stuff are still playing in the league today, actually. What do they like to do over there at UConn? What does Jim Moore like to do? He likes to run the ball. They've got a good running back in Durrell Robinson. He's a true freshman, a guy that Jim Moore was very high on, bringing him in to start as a true freshman. This kid's got every tool in the shed. He's averaging 7.5 yards per carry. Very impressive. They like to run the ball. They're running the ball at over a 50% rate here. The UConn quarterback, he's more of a game time manager. He's the backup going into this year. They had a 4-year senior guy that was playing decently well, knows the system a lot more. This is a young kid. I believe he's a freshman as well, either a true freshman or a true sophomore, one of the two. He's more of a runner for sure. He can't make the deep ball down the field. He's going to do what you ask of him, get the ball to his playmakers. That's pretty much what they do. I could only look at UConn here, man. UConn this is their last home game. It's crazy to think that this is their last home game. This is their, I believe, 5th or 6th straight home game. And this is senior night. All the parents are going to be there and stuff. It's crazy to see that we have a senior night November 1st. It's usually a couple weeks down the line. With that being said, though, I expect UConn to be rocking and rolling here. The fans should come out for this one. They're winning ball games. They're establishing a program over there. 7 points is a little bit too much. If this was still an 8.5, I would think UConn's going to go in here and smash. That's what it was, 8.5 when I originally looked at this game, and now it's all the way down to a 7 with only 8% of the money on Georgia State. Something telling me maybe Georgia State can hang tight in this game if we're looking at the market strictly. I don't know too much about this Georgia State team. It's not a team I'm very invested in. I do know about this UConn program, and I do know that they want to win this game. Not so much covering the spread. Do I think they can cover the 7? Absolutely. I'm going to stay away from this one, but I have a lean towards UConn.
Yeah, there's conflicting things here with the senior night, the stretch of home games in a row, Georgia State with the road games in a row, which would think maybe this is a tired group, but now the market's moving towards them. Take it away, Daby Cab. Your thoughts, Georgia State Panthers, UConn Huskies.
Yeah, I'm going to echo some of the same things, but UConn wanting to get in a bowl game, right? We talk about like playoffs because there's 12 teams in it now. Well, for teams like UConn, it's still great that there's bowl games, right? There's still that goal for a team like this to hit, and they need another win to get that bowl eligible. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to get that win at home right here, especially like Wine Time said, because they're about to hit the road. And 2 of their next 3 road games are not going to be easy. They're going to be tough competition. So you got this one circled if you're UConn, in my opinion. All that being said, I'm on the same page with Matty Ice. I like UConn. I don't like UConn to cover 8.5 points or 7 or 7.5 points, whatever the spread is. I don't like UConn to cover a number for me. If I was going to bet this game, it would probably be towards the under, just because I look at UConn and what they've been good at, and that's defense. They're 27th in scoring defense. They're 29th in total defense. They're pretty good against the pass. 29th against the pass in the country. So I think they're going to slow down this Panthers offense, which if there's one thing that they're decent at, it's passing. That's the one thing that I think they're like 46 or 45th in the country. They're okay at that, but I think this is a defensive game. I think UConn runs the ball, like Wine Time said. If they're going to throw it, it'll be developed off a play action pass that was set up by the run. So I just think this game plays under. I think it plays under. UConn's defense, in my opinion, is the best unit on the field. So that's kind of where I would go with it.
Yeah, I guess no movement. Matty Ice back in the under as well. It says UConn double result or the under in this one. Let's move on to Boca Raton, Florida, 79 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy. Now we have winds, 16-mile-per-hour winds. South Florida Bulls, 3-4, 1-2 in the American. Florida Atlantic Owls, 2-5, 0-3 in the American. We're at FAU Stadium. Again, both teams coming off of byes. So, I guess at this point you start thinking about which coaching staff do I respect the most. This total has dropped, man, like a rock. 53.5 opener, all the way down to 47.5. Just a monstrous move towards the under. And then on the point spread, get this up here. We have this sitting right now with Florida Atlantic plus 2.5. And, well, let's just start with the line history here. This opened up plus 2. It got up to 3, back to 2.5. It was bouncing all over the place. This was at 3 for a while. If you want Florida Atlantic plus 2.5, it's a no vig situation. This is juiced towards the Bulls. That was an extremely disappointing 35-25 win at home versus UAB. And I was beating myself up for being on them for a little while. I joined Bobano on it. Why expect a bad football team to beat any team by margin? That was the fatal error in that bet. They did pull out the double-digit victory, but that was late in the game. So they had 2 home games. They put up 3 points against Memphis, losing 21-3. That was on the heels of getting destroyed by Tulane and Miami at home. So they stopped their losing streak at 3. It's an underwhelming 35-25 victory over a horrific UAB Blazer squad. And then Florida Atlantic lost their 2 games coming into the break. They lose a tight one, 41-37 at home to North Texas. Then they head to UTSA, Jose Bouquet's UTSA Owls here. We had the 485 yards UTSA put on them. It was worse than the numbers indicated. It's funny. This was 24-24 thanks to a fumble return touchdown for Florida Atlantic. The Florida Atlantic had 10 first downs compared to 26 for UTSA. UTSA was 4.5-point favorites and basically destroyed Florida Atlantic. I don't want anything. I guess I don't want anything to do with either of these football teams. I guess when it comes down to it, let's take a look at the cash flow here. We have 66% of tickets and 73% of cash on the over. On the spread, we have. Man, the computer's going slow today.
You said it's been coming down too.
Oh, has it been? Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about rain there. Sorry. Say that again.
The numbers come down, right? The total.
Oh, it's dropped 7 points.
That's insane because if you look at the last 5 games from both of these teams, just like total wise, every game for Florida Atlantic's gone over this total, and 4 out of the last 5 have gone over this total for South Florida. That's insane.
It's crazy. And then here also you have sharps seemingly on Florida Atlantic. 22% of the tickets and 45% of the cash on them on the spread. And then on the money line, it's 34% of the tickets and 72% of the cash. Maybe it's 2 bad football teams and you back the under. Or sorry. Jesus, sorry, I'm tripping. It's 2 bad football teams and you back the home team here. A coin leaning towards Florida Atlantic. Take it away. Let's hear from you guys. Take it away, Daby Cab. Bulls, Owls.
Yeah, look, again, these aren't 2 teams that I've been rushing to the window to bet. Good news is, Jimmy, I did bring. I'll drop a couple things that I added this morning for you guys to my card on Saturday.
Sure.
But look, I said it. The UTSA game, 24-38 for Florida Atlantic. The UNT game, 37-41. The game against Wagner, 41-10. The game against UConn, 14-48. The game against FIU, 38-20. You hear these numbers that I'm reading off? Like, not only have these gone over, they're not even close to this 47.5 total. And then you flip the side to South Florida, 35-25. The 1 game out of the 10 I'm going to go over went under was against Memphis. Then Tulane, 45-10. That's still 55. That gets over this number. Miami, 50-15. Goes way over this number. I'm just saying again, every single game these teams has played, other than 1 against Memphis for South Florida, has gone over, and the total's coming down. Talk about a trap, man. I guess you might want to look at the under here, which just seems crazy to me. So I wouldn't be betting this. I wouldn't bet this with your money, Jimmy, and somebody tell me I get to keep the profit.
It does feel like Florida Atlantic's the sharp side, and we also now, and I remember from off the top, but he also popped it here in our chat that Ron Crawford, college football spreadsheet play of the day is on the Owls of Florida Atlantic. Shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. Let's hear from Wine Time Sports. Bulls, Owls, and Boca.
Yeah, apologies if you guys hear any background noise. We got some construction going on outside. Am I good?
Yeah, your money.
Okay, awesome, sweet. Yeah, guys, very interesting game. This is the one game I have a play on this card, guys. You guys kind of already talked about it. Talk about this coaching staff over here for FAU. I mean, they do have Tom Herman at the helm. I mean, he did coach at Houston. He did coach at Texas, a couple big-time Power 4 programs. Kind of a younger coach, kind of hit his peak a little bit too early. And, I mean, here he is over at FAU now, brings in a quarterback, Cam Fancher, Marshall transfer. The guy likes to run with the ball. He doesn't do a lot in the air. You can't really ask him to make the big-time throws down the field. Similar, he's more of a game-time manager. You're going to only ask him to make the throws he can make, and that's mostly going to be screens and slant passes from him. I don't expect FAU to be marching down the field fast by any means, and neither do I think of this USF team either. I'm not impressed with this offense over here from USF. Looking at the wind gusts in this game too, guys, 20 to 30 miles per hour in this one by game time. I'm hoping it hits the 30 mile per hour range. It's most likely going to be in the 25 mile per hour. Makes me like the under even more because I do think FAU is going to run the shit out of the ball here with their quarterback and their running back. They like to rotate their running backs out. They've got 2 to 4 guys that they like to use. Don't really have an established starter over there. South Florida offense, they've been bad, man. Don't get me wrong. They've had the much tougher schedule between these two opponents. Have they looked good in those games? Absolutely not. We saw some flashes against Miami, but Miami, they've got a good defensive line over there. They've been giving up a lot of points, and I believe South Florida only got 10 points off them in that matchup. With that being said, man, I think this is an under spot. I got in on it 2 nights ago at 48.5. It's down to a 47.5. I still like the 47.5, honestly. I like it all the way down to a 47. I wish I would have gotten a better number, but I am in at the 48.5 minus 110 in this one. I don't think this one's going to hit 45. Like I said, Cam Fancher is going to run with the ball a lot. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to have some incompletions. I don't think they're going to be pushing the ball down the field too much and scoring super quick. So that's why I think points are going to be scored at a minimum in this game. Give me the under 48.5 here.
Did you tweet this one out?
I tweeted this one out. Let's see.
Oh, wait. I think I maybe can find it here.
No, you're good. I added it on. Let me double check.
Oh, yeah, I got it right here. 20 hours ago, under 48.5. Beautiful. Well, at least you got over the 48, which can be a key number. Yep. I get it. So under 48.5 for Wine Time Sports here at minus 110. Sitting with this for a while, I agree with you guys that Florida Atlantic is the seemingly sharp side, but it's not enough for me to bet. It's very close. It's close. And I don't want to bet it just because I lost money on the Bulls 2 weeks ago against UAB. I don't want. It's just not something that I have enough conviction on to bet. Let's move on to the final spot on the board here. And DC Capper, by the way, he's on USF. Let's move on here. 8 p.m. Eastern. We have a big one. San Diego State. Now, San Diego State looked a little better in the Mountain West, but still 3-4 on the year. 2-0 in the Mountain West at the number 15th ranked now. Boise State Broncos 6-1, 3-0 in the Mountain West. We're at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. 55 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 14 miles per hour. This is another interesting wind game. It's very windy. It starts calming down. So as the game goes on, it continues to calm down. I will double check that, but I believe that about half an hour, 45 minutes before the game, it's about 16 miles per hour winds. And then I thought like maybe an hour into the game, it was about 12. Again, I will double check that. Let's get into the line history here from this one. We have Boise State as huge 23.5 point favorites. This opened up at 24, dropped to 23. The 24 was juiced towards San Diego State. Now the 23.5 is juiced towards Boise State. So we really haven't had that much of a move. From the total perspective, we have a 56. This is juiced to the over. There's been a ton of movement on this one, not drastic, but just constant. This opened up at 57, dropped down to 55.5. We're talking on Tuesday. Then it starts climbing again up to 56, 56.5, and then it gets up to 58. That was the high water mark. That was yesterday at 58. And then it's dropped back down to 56. So quite a bit of movement on this one. Let's get into the cash flow. We have Oh, let's get off of money line. Go to all markets. We have a coin flip. 51% of the tickets are on San Diego State, 49% of the tickets on Boise State, 58% of the cash on Boise State. Then on the total, we have 44% of tickets and 63% of cash on the under. Rude Boy says Boise covers here. Nah, he says nah. And Aaron Gaza the same way. He's on San Diego State. Billy Friedrich on Boise State first half minus 13.5. And NJ Striker needs Genty to go off and help his 20-1 Heisman Trophy ticket. That's the thing.
He's all the way down to 300 now. If you got 20-1 on him, good job.
That is a beautiful NJ, my man. So X's and O's, Y's, we'll let our experts handle that. But, San Diego State coming off the loss at home to Washington State 29-26. They had a 2-game winning streak, but, barely squeaking by Hawaii. And that win at Wyoming was nice. And then we have Boise State sitting here very, very confident coming off that 29-24 win at UNLV, much lower scoring game than many predicted. They'd beaten Hawaii in Hawaii 28-7, which kind of showed their accountability. It's not an easy thing to do for these kids heading over to Hawaii and playing. All right, Wine Time Sports, take it away. We have San Diego State, Boise State, a little Mountain West action.
Yeah, interesting matchup here for Boise State, guys, because, coming off a big win for them against UNLV, probably the toughest opponent other than Oregon they have to face this season. Heading back home in Boise, man, against this SDSU team, that had won a couple straight games. Jim mentioned it, on the road in Hawaii or at home against Hawaii. Beat Wyoming in Wyoming. Impressive. They only lost 3 points to Washington State, a team that's a team that I've been kind of high on this season. I mean, they're winning ball games over there at Wazoo, man. They're doing good things over there. Boise, man, they're really running the shit out of Genty right now, man. This guy's getting 30-plus touches a game right now. I believe he got 33 to 35 carries last game. This guy's banged up. A lot of reports that I'm hearing, his ribs are bruised. His elbows are bruised. This guy's banged up, man. I mean, he's getting hit so many times per game. There's only so much this guy's going to be able to take. Hate to be to say this, but maybe this is a spot where we get on his under in rushing yards, honestly, because I don't see him getting more than 25 touches in this game. This is a game Boise State needs to win, not cover. SDSU very likely can stay within this ball game, and I think they're going to let Genty kind of have a little rest. I mean, I get it. He wants to put up these crazy numbers, video game numbers, but if you're going to try to make a college football playoff, you need him. You need him. If not, you're getting blown out by 40 points against whoever you face, because that's a one-dimensional offense over there in Boise, and they got to save this guy for when it really matters. And they're on their way to a college football playoff if they win out and win a Mountain West championship, if we're being completely honest. They have a ticket there. So with that being said, I think this might be a letdown spot for Boise. You might see me get on the San Diego State side in this. You might see me get on the Genty under rushing props, which is absolutely wild to say here on air to all you guys, because he's been going over it every single week. I mean, we're seeing it right now at an over 186.5. Don't get me wrong. If he gets his 30 touches, is he going to get those? Is he going to get that? Yeah. But I mean, if they give him 30 touches in this game, I'm going to have some serious question marks about this coaching staff and this medical staff. So don't give him the ball that many times. Give him the ball 15 to 20 times, win this game, and you're on the road to the college football playoff. I have a lean to both of those, the under G&T props. It's crazy. I'm not going to give it out yet. I'll tweet it if I do. And I'm leaning towards the San Diego State side, because this is a lot of points for Boise to cover off a game where if they don't use Genty too much, I don't know how they're going to beat these guys by 20 plus.
It's funny, Jimmy. Last week, Wine Time and I got up here with you, and we did the 3 games last Friday, and neither of us moved officially on the show. Wine Time did on the rushing prop after the show. But Wine Time and me were texting back and forth. Dude, we dominated that Friday night because we added those bets throughout. And I even texted him. I was like, man, I added Boise State first half. I was like, I feel bad. I don't want to tweet it out 15 minutes before the game. So, I didn't post it for anybody because I felt like a dick. Dude, I hear it again, man. That Gentry under sounds like the bet right here. This is where we were last week with that rushing prop. Dude, if you're Boise State, you're sitting at a 23.5 prop and he's banged up. Get him healthy. Get the win and get out, right? You're not in there trying to run it up. You're not in a situation where you have to hit these high water marks on how you beat people. You just have to win if you're Boise State, right? Literally. It's different. You're not in a situation like Alabama or Georgia, right?
They're one losses to the number 1 team in the nation,
The one loss by 3 points to the number 1 team in the nation. You're everybody's favorite group of 5 team right now. At this moment, you are the group of 5 team that everybody's putting in the playoffs. Yeah, so for me, it's San Diego State and the under on Gentry's prop right here. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like, Boise's only won 2 games this whole season by 24 or more, and one of them was an FCS school, so we're going to go ahead and take that one out. The other one was Utah State, so we can probably go ahead and take that one out too, right? San Diego State, albeit not as good as they've been in years past, they're still a competitive team. They're still 2-0 in the conference right now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have that in front of me. But I think this is a game where if you're Boise State, if you win it by 2 touchdowns and you can get Gentry off the field for the majority of the game, that's a W for Boise State, and that's how I see this going.
Interesting. From Dan Kelly says, then go under in.
I saw that. What is his rush attempts? Can you give me that, Jim, right now?
Yeah, I can. It's 25.5.
Oh, my God. I'm going under that. I might have to give that out right here on the show. Give me the under 25.5 rush attempts for Genty.
Let me just, so this is minus 105 at 365.
Oh, man. That's.
Let's just see.
If they give him the ball more than 25 times in this game, then
it's a close game. That if they do, that means it's a close game in San Diego.
It's going to be a close game. Yeah, that's tough, man.
This is a very appealing.
Yeah, I might have to move on that right after the show. Honestly,
it's a very appealing angle you guys are on. Yeah,
he had 33 carries last week against a hard-nosed UNLV team. He needed those 33 carries.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs 33 carries in this game. So. Damn, that's a good number. Shout out to you, Dan Kelly. I'm definitely taking that here. Give me that right now, Jim. I might end up getting on the under rushing prop and SDSU. I'll tweet that out later, but officially on the show, I'm going to give out the best number you can give me. If you can give me a 26.5 minus 115 or something, I mean, I'll take that too.
I can only find, because I only have a couple books up, I can only find the under 25.5 rush attempts at minus 105.
Let's give me that.
Pinnacle is nothing. So that sounds extremely appealing. Extremely appealing. Dan Kelly says he's on it. I'm on it too. I'm going to move on this too. I'm going to bet it right now as well. So I just this just seems like real sharp, and it's the kind of bet where you would call up your buddy. It's just that kind of a sharp, but it's not like a size. Like look, I have the angle. This is the angle. You should move on it. I'm going to bet this right now just so I've got it in my pocket here.
Let's see what number I can get.
Daby Cab, what are you thinking here? Do you want to make that? Do you want to run with us on this one? Are you looking at something else, or are you going to stay off this one?
I very likely will. I want to sit with it for a little bit. I'm not just going to jump in on the make it official right now. I'm going to let you guys do it. I'm going to sit with it, and I very likely will. And since you said anytime we add it, it still counts, so I'll make sure everybody knows.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hear what you're saying about not wanting to put out a bet 15 minutes before. So, but for me, with my local, I'm a number, right? I'm not a person, and I'm number 16 because of my uncle, Gary Beeben, So it's I have to write, when I write it, it's a 416. It's not for. Okay, so I'm going to lock in and get this in. Daby Cab, tell us a little bit, because Wine Time and I are going to hammer this NBA card next. So tell us about the plan. Then you're going to come over to the horse racing show. Tell us about the plan for tomorrow. Of course, tell us what's going on tailgating first. Tailgating at 10 a.m. The horse racing show doesn't start till after that, 12:30. So tell us about tailgate and then joining the horse racing show.
Beautiful. So the tailgate will start right in time, or the tailgate. The horse race is going to start right in time for OSU Penn State. And I'm going to just go ahead and let everybody know. And I know this isn't going to be very popular amongst the people that I cap with, but I took Ohio State first half minus 2.5.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually gone down to 1.5. But I am on Ohio State first half in that game. So I'm excited for that game. And the tailgate this weekend, we've got a line of guests. Wine Time's always with me. Moose is always with me. Stacks is going to hop on this weekend. We've got a lot of great guests. And last weekend, Jimmy, we absolutely destroyed it throughout the card. Moose, shout out to Moose. He went up 6 units last week.
He had the biggest week. I think that was his biggest week of the year.
Yeah, it was.
He killed it, man. He killed it.
He did. And then shout out to my guy, Dutch Boy Fresh. He's 7-1 his last 8 bets that he's brought on the tailgate. I mean, we're just making money. It's a beautiful thing. So show up on Saturday, guys, and then right afterwards, we're gonna be at the horse racing stream, betting football, betting horses all day long. I mean, it don't get better than that. I really don't think it gets better than that. One last bet, And if you want to track it, you can. If not, Jimmy, that's fine. But this is for
If
you
you want to
guys.
make anything official here on the show, I'll track
I'm on Josh Hoover again, over 296.5 passing yards at -114. This has been one of those wagons this year. If you've been riding with me on it, we've been getting paid all year. We've been getting paid all year. We're 6
all year, dude. Every game he goes over 300 passing yards, man. This kid likes to throw the ball, man. He loves to throw the ball.
And Baylor ain't the defense they've been. So
Daby Cab, you have Ohio State first half here that you're making official. What's the number that you tweet out?
A -2.5, -110.
-2.5, -110. And Hoover over what number?
296.5 at -114.
-114. And Daby Cab has cashed 6 bets in a row here with either myself, Peter, or Snips. So he's been delivering the goods here. We have Wine Time on under 25.5, Genty rush attempts at -105. I just bet it. We also have him on the under 48.5 in South Florida, Florida Atlantic. Ron Crawford on Florida Atlantic +2.5. And we have stayed off the Panthers Huskies game. Daby Cab, my friend, feel free to jump on with us this evening. We're gonna get the party started here in where the turf meets the surf, baby.
Hell
yeah. I'm pumped up. Thank you so much for rocking with us, Daby Cab. And then college basketball around the corner. So we need to talk then, of course, this weekend about how we're going to start changing things here on Tuesdays too. How we're going to start changing things with Pete. If you want to start hammering college basketball, we'll have to talk.
I'm ready. I'm not one of those people that waits, Jimmy. I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I'm probably gonna be on Baylor. I'm excited to see how Roach fits into that rotation with them. And I don't want to go too long into it, but I'll probably be on. I'm gonna be day one, Jimmy. I'll be day one. We'll be rolling.
I love it. Please support our guy Daby Cab and the tailgate every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Go get that cash. Now, Gorky, actually get Cab. Can you get Cab back here for a second, if it's possible? If Cab's listening, can you get Cab back here? Cab, Gorky is going back to Texas A&M here. You've cashed with him 2 weeks in a row. Gorky's moving on them here. Are you interested in them for a third week in a row?
Oh, we're on them, Jimmy. We're on them. I took them at 2.5. So that 3.5 that's showing now, if you tuned in on Tuesday with Pete, we got the 2.5.
It's already official. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping me off South Carolina, Cab, man. I'm so glad, man. You got me off that.
I've never been more excited for a football game than I am for this Saturday night. I'm telling you, it's huge. It's paramount. I've watched the behind the scenes this week. Elko has those boys ready. They understand what's on the line. I'll just say that.
You know, I was thinking of you when you were sick. When they came back in the second half and you were like on your deathbed, and I was thinking about you.
Dude, I felt like shit and I was still yelling at the TV. So when the adrenaline came down, like after the game, I thought I was going to die. Like I had never felt so bad.
I love it, Daby Cab. Thank you for rocking with us. We all love capping with you, my man. Keep getting that cash. Again, 6 straight winners for Daby Cab in college football. All of our college football cappers delivering the goods here. Let's roll into NBA wine time. And one day does not a season make.
Yep.
So you know what? Sometimes getting a quick slap in the face. We've watched what you've done in college football. You've been excellent. So, don't get caught up in last Friday. I just wanted to make sure that you got right back on the seat as soon as possible. Sir. So let's get after it. We got a huge Friday NBA card.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, man. Marathon, absolutely. Not a sprint. I'm here for the marathon.
Absolutely. So let's get to it. And my leans have been cashing, and now I'm like, God, I got to open up. I've been very, very conservative to get started. So
I've been light so far to start this NBA too, Jim. I think Friday was the most plays I gave out so far this year, but I got some good plays today. I'm excited for this one.
Well, let's get to work here. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Boston Celtics at Charlotte Hornets. Boston Celtics. Jose, I believe it's not the right record there for Daby Cab. For Wine Time. That's fine. 1-5. But that's that's fine. It's just instead of 4 or 5, but that's all good. Let's roll here. Boston Celtics, Charlotte Hornets. We have the Celtics coming off that 135-132 overtime loss at the Pacers. What a phenomenal basketball game that was. Pacers taking care of business. Siakam scoring 29 with the tie-breaking 3. Pacers shooting 48.1 from the field and 39.5 from 3. It was fun Very, very, very fun basketball game. Tatum went for 37. Pacers take care of business. So we see the Celtics for the first time coming off of a loss. Of course, that was on Wednesday evening. The Hornets coming off the 138-133 victory over the Raptors at home. So this is a Hornets squad here that is playing the second game of a 3-game homestand because these teams play against each other again Saturday night. So we're going to see these teams play each other, twice in a row, which really helps. The second game helps so much in the cap. Dan Kelly says the Hornets can win this basketball game. We have Al Horford out, Kristaps Porzingis out. So it's the Luke Cornett show, a show very few people want to watch. We have, of course, Miller as the game time decision. Let's get the latest update on Brandon. Listed as questionable. Yeah, so he missed 3 games. Yeah, 3 games with the glute strain. Might make his return Friday. If not, Seth Curry and Cody Martin will be getting the run. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow, and then hear what our guy Wine Time has to say about the spot. Sorry, it's going to take me a second. Get over to NBA. Should have had this set up while we were talking. I apologize.
You're good.
Okay, here we go. We have these Boston Celtics double-digit 10.5 point favorites at -106. This opened up 11, dropped a half point to 10.5. Then we have, 72% of tickets, 74% of the cash on the Celtics. Line's not moving towards them. Also, it's tricky because, we love to back teams off of a loss, but I don't know if, an overtime loss to the Pacers really fits the bill we're looking for. We're looking for that no-show. We're not looking for an overtime loss in a very difficult game. This total is at 232.5. Opened up at 232, dropped down to 231, 230. So very little movement on the total. And when we get to the cash flow on the total, we have 81% of tickets and 84% cash on the over. Luke Cornett's done nothing to me, Dan. He's done nothing to me. I just take it away. Take it away. Wine Time. Here we go. Game 1 on the NBA card. An interesting one for the defending NBA champions coming off a loss. Floor's yours.
Yeah, very interesting matchup here. You already touched on it. Boston Celtics coming off 2 consecutive losses here, and they're laying double digits here against a Charlotte Hornets team, that I'm not high on by any means. I mean, you look at what LaMelo Ball is doing this season. I mean, shout out to him, man. He's putting up video game type numbers. What he usually does, he's kind of a one-way kind of player, though. He's not going to give you much on defense. You got Bridges, man. The guy can definitely ball out there, too, in some games. The guy can definitely put the ball in the bucket, that's for sure. He can get boards for you. Brandon Miller, I think he's definitely going to sit out in this one. I don't think they want him to play in this one. Looking at the market in this one, I could only lean towards the Charlotte Hornets in this one. I'm also looking at the player market a little bit. Am I seeing this right? LaMelo Ball over under 24 points. That's really low, man, for him averaging 28.5 per game. I mean, he's going to get a lot of shot ups in this one. He's going to shoot the ball in this one. But are the Celtics going to key in on him in this one to make sure that they blow these guys out? Because if they key on that one-man show over there, lock him down with their best defender, if you put, Drew Holiday on him, I mean, you lock him up, man. Maybe this guy doesn't hit 20 today. I don't believe he's hitting anything less than 20 this season. I could be wrong. I don't have those numbers out there in front of me right now. I'm kind of looking towards this under because maybe they're going to put LaMelo in check here and the Celtics ended up smashing this game. I'm going to stay away, but that's very interesting that it's only a 24-point prop.
Yeah, I love betting the second game of these, 2 games in 2 nights or home and homes or whatever it is. I don't like betting the first one. I feel like the second one gives you all the information that you're looking for here. And again, I don't feel like Boston coming off the overtime loss is like a no-show situation that we love backing. So, with all that said and done, it's different than, why we backed the Rockets, because there was 2 different things. Well, why we almost, I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't bet the Rockets last night, unfortunately. But Celtics Hornets, no move for us. Let's rock on to 7 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers. We have our guy, Dan Kelly, pushing us to bet Coach of the Year award for the Cavs. That was 20-1, and is now down. It was down to 8.5-1 yesterday because the Cavs have opened up 5-0. They've looked very, very good. We're Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse here against Orlando Magic. The Magic have lost back-to-back road games. They did beat the Pacers at home in between, but their one win on the road was at Miami, right? It was to start the year off. There was so much on the line for the Magic to get off to a winning start. And the other two road games, they lose at Memphis 124-111. They lose at the Bulls 102-99. And the Cavs keep winning. Now, they just had the Lakers come to town. Lakers come to town. It's a big deal. You know, the place is packed, sold out at Rocket Mortgage, and the Cavs dominate from the jump. 57.7 from the field, 41.5 from three. Is this a letdown spot with the Magic coming to town? The Magic off of their second road loss in a row. I wonder. Why don't we take a look at
out too?
Oh yeah, Banchero, of course, with the oblique injury. And how long is he?
Indefinitely.
He could be out for a long time. It sucks. Really sucks. But we see the team step up in that first game, you know, without their star. And for Cleveland, they're a pretty healthy group. You know, Max Strus not there, but they're a pretty healthy group. Interesting. Will the players step up here in their first game? So we have the Orlando Magic plus 7.5 right now. They opened up at 7. This got up to 8, and it came back to 7.5. So we still have a half-point move towards the Cavaliers. And when we get to the total here in this one, we have a 218 flat, minus 107 to the over. Opened up at 217, climbed a point up to 218. Cash flow wise, you have 86% of tickets, 84% of cash on the over. And on the spread, 45 and 44 on the Orlando Magic. Take it away for us. Wine time. Fascinating one. A lot of moving parts. Magic Cavaliers.
Yeah, Jim, this is one of the games I moved on. I didn't beat the line movement. I wish I would have waited on it today, but sometimes that's just the way it works, you know? Banchero, man, the best player on that Orlando Magic team. Don't get me wrong. Franz Wagner doing good things over there too. He can definitely put the ball in the hoop. With that being said, though, Banchero, man, I mean, this guy's a future potential MVP, man. He's got every tool in the shed. Like everything about him is just so good. I mean, once he gets that 3 ball down, man, this guy's looking like one of the better players in basketball. Big loss for them, man. Also a big loss for them on defense because he is also a pretty good defender as well. That's going to be about 50 points if you look at that game he scored the other day out of your lineup that you're not going to get in this game. Are other guys going to step up? Is the other Wagner brother going to maybe step up? Is Isaac going to maybe step up? Maybe. I think this is a high total, though, man. I mean, we're looking right now. I think it's at a 218.5. I got to look at what number I got yesterday. I got an under 216.5, I believe, yesterday. It's all the way up to a 218.5. I do think this is going to be a lower scoring affair because I think it's going to be harder for the Magic to score without Banchero. Cleveland coming off a big blowout win against LA a couple days ago. Kind of an emotional win for them. You know, LeBron heading to Cleveland, he usually takes care of business against Cleveland. Did in that one, they got smacked up. With that being said, maybe this is a spot. I mean, does Orlando show up, like you said, with Banchero out? You know, usually when the star player goes out, the next day the team shows up, other guys step up. That could be the case, and they cover the spread. If I think they cover the spread, though, I think they're going to have to kind of control the clock in this one and not let this one hit over 220 points, if we're being completely honest, because I don't know if Orlando's going to be able to score over 110 points in this matchup. So give me the under at the best number available. I mean, let me double check. I think I got 216.5 yesterday. You can give me that because that's technically the number I'm in on. Let's see right now.
Did you tweet it out?
I did. I tweeted out Orlando. See, I got Orlando Cleveland under 216 minus 110.
Under 216.
Yeah, I don't think this one's going to hit. I get a lot of points in this one. I think it's going to be tough for Magic to score the bucket. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they show up here in a big way and they're able to put points on the board and they end up getting out of this one with a win. I mean, a 7.5 point spread. I mean, Magic have a good young team, but your best players also at that line looks a little short, man. I thought it would be more maybe of a minus 10.5, which maybe kind of has me second guessing. Can Magic hang in this game? Tough spot, but I'm on the under.
This is the wheelhouse for me in NBA. This is just a Magic must bet. You have Cavs coming off, Lakers coming to town, dominating. You have the Magic without their best player. The question is, can we get a bit of a better number? Because I won't. I don't care if it moves to 8. That won't be. This is just we just see it time and time again. So, Mally Mal saying Cavs winning margin 11+. Dan Kelly says Mally Mal's right. This line should be at least 11.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Did you hear anybody with me on the Edmonton Oilers last night in their first game without McDavid? They won 5-1. They were in complete control of that hockey game from the jump because everybody had to step up, and they knew that. And it only lasts for one game unless it's a, everybody eats situation. Dan Kelly says Atkinson will have these guys focused to crush them early on a home Friday night. So Dan, you don't think this is the letdown spot and the star in the team without their star player stepping up? Man, Bear Pig, I'm not doing enough in NHL. I'm not going to take any. I need to win more than I've been winning. One win is not enough for me. But thank you for the kind words. I'm not helping my friends, and
I definitely lean the Magic side too, because I'm with you on that. The star player going out. How many times have we seen this over the years? The star player goes out and everyone's like, oh, there's no way they're going to win. And they come out and they fucking win. Other guys step up. And I do think if they do win this game or at least cover, it's going to go under the total. So that's what's got me on the under. You're kind of getting me on the Magic side a little bit. I might tweet it out later. If I do, I'll let you know, because I definitely like everything that you're saying about this makes sense.
Well, this is a spot where I'm willing to risk. I understand that it might not be pretty, but I'm willing to bet this type of situation. As I was willing to bet
sometimes the not prettiest bets are the better bets to make. You know what I mean?
I didn't want to fade Nashville with their tough start. They needed to win that game, but it was just you just know how it just keeps happening and happening. If you just have to have the balls take advantage of it
over and over, man.
And Nick Schnizzle in the house. Hopefully, Schnizzle, you can join us here with our horses next couple days. Says, how about my Cavs? They're looking great so far. Magic gonna get smacked up. Atkins has these boys ready. So not only Robert Franklin has said Magic, and I'm going to be on the Magic. Now, I'm not going to bet this after the show. I would like an 8. All right, let's roll on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern with the New York Knicks 2-2, 1-1 on the road at the Detroit Pistons, 1-4, 0-2 at home. A Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Super True Story says same as Golden State first time without Curry. Exactly. I mean, it's just anybody who's been making money off the Cavaliers, anybody who's a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, will have to prove to me that they don't have a bias through the first 5 games of the year. It's just the cruel tricks that the mind plays. All right, let's get into line history here. We have these New York Knicks -6.5 and -107. They opened up at 7. We have a half-point move towards the Detroit Pistons. Let's get to the total here in this one. We have a 217.5. It's juiced to the over at -110. Opened up at 218.5. Dropped down to 216 flat before there was buyback, which there's been. Still a half-point move to the under. We have a half-point move to the Pistons and a half-point move to the under. Dan Kelly says maybe early. No, I hear that. It's probably early too. It's probably early. But this isn't a spot where we're asking for a bounce back spot from the Magic. Like we were asking for a bounce back spot from the Clippers, and I should have, in retrospect, obviously, taken them first half. They're up.
And I was on them too, man. What a fucking disappointment, man. That was fucking. How much were they up at half? 18 points or some shit like that.
70-52 before they screwed us here. Okay, it would have been nice coming in sweeping yesterday, but.
Me too. That would have made me 4-0 yesterday. Literally.
61% of tickets, 62% of the cash on the Knicks.
88% my charger really quick to my computer, Jim.
No worries. 88% of tickets, 87% of cash on the over. So let's get into some X's and O's here for this spot. I know that our guy Nutflush Allen's been crushing with these Ivy props game in and game out. We are waiting. The Pistons have stepped up at times. and they stepped up against Cleveland last Friday, but they only lasted for a quarter. And I know my guy Wine Time had in first half. They just self-destructed in the second quarter, and it was tough to watch because it was the right side. Let's get our guy Wine Time back in business.
I was texting you during that. I just couldn't believe my eyes, man. I looked away from the TV for 3 minutes, and all of a sudden I was like, where did this go, man? Like, they had the lead in the first quarter. Crazy.
You know, the Knicks are coming off a victory, but they're just 2-2. I mean, does Cat have to play hero ball for this team to win a game? I mean, coming off 44 points. I don't feel like when you're 2-2, you can really have a letdown. Maybe because, you know, they go into Miami, they beat Miami, they probably go out to the clubs that night. Pistons coming off finally getting their win, 105-95 at Philadelphia. Both teams playing on Wednesday. So we have the half-point move to the under, half-point move to the Pistons. There's only 12% of tickets, 13% cash on the under. And then on the spread, we have 39% tickets, 38% cash on the Pistons. Take it away for us here. Wine Time, Knicks Pistons.
Yeah, Jim. Similar spot to last week that I like the Pistons in again, man. I like this team for some reason. When I look up their roster, I like the kind of talent that they have with the young guys around them. I like that they have Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway in there. I mean, Tim Hardaway's going to have to make those open three balls, though, if he's going to continue to start. He's hitting over 50% from three so far to start the year. Tobias Harris, on the other hand, man, yeah, this guy can't really shoot the ball right now.
Sorry, Cat is questionable, like they're talking about. He is.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, he is questionable going, which is super important in this one, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say right now, I'm on the Detroit Pistons side. I honestly think they're going to get them outright in this one. I think the Pistons are going to win this game outright. I think Cade Cunningham's going to have a big game. I think Jaden Ivey's going to have a big game. Tim Hardaway's going to have to knock those early three balls down, as he's been doing in a lot of these games. He's shooting well from the three. New York, man, I mean, don't get me wrong. You look at the starting five, man. You got Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. I mean, all these guys, man, they can score at will. They can score one-on-one. All of them can shoot the ball pretty well as well. Mikal Bridges, everyone's kind of making fun of his shot. I mean, he's averaging almost 20 points a game right now in this lineup. He's hitting over 50% from the floor. We'll see if he continues that. I only look towards the Detroit Pistons side in this spot. I want a 7, though. What can you get me a +7 at a little juicier of a number, Jim?
Yes, but let me ask you this. Karl Towns announced out. Wouldn't you?
That's where it gets tricky because it's going to be.
Knicks? Wouldn't you want the Knicks?
Yeah, that's Cat. I think Cat's going to end up playing in this one. If I'm being honest with you, I mean, I'm hoping he does. If he doesn't play in this one, then yeah, I'm not going to like my bet as much. I mean, because I'll probably be able to get. I mean, it'll probably go towards my favor, but I mean, it's also where including the star player effect goes out. I mean, He's hitting 75% from three so far to start this season, from what I'm seeing. Tough spot, man. I'm on the Pistons though. I got on +7. Give me at them in the best number. I got on the minus on my local right now. I can still get them at a +7 -110. I see right now on a lot of the legal books and stuff like that, it's at a 6.5. But yeah, give me the Detroit Pistons at a +7 at the best number available, Jim.
Sure, I will do that right now. Let's get you the.
They let me down on another Friday night here, then they're dead to me on another Friday. But I'm going back to the well with them, man, because I like what I see from them, the eye test, especially. Maybe I should get on first quarter, man. It's that first quarter that I've really been liking them in, to be honest. But I don't really make those kind of plays official. I don't throw full units on quarters and stuff for me, just because I got to have a certain angle on it, and I don't think my angle's strong enough on it to bet a quarter. But
I'll give you that +7 at -114.
Give me that all day long. Yeah.
Okay. Wine Time moving on the Pistons +7 -114. So for me here, I am going to be on the Knicks if Cat is out. So if Cat is out, okay, let me just make sure I have this notes because I'll be focusing on horses. If Cat is out. Okay. Wine Time moving on the Pistons +7 at -114. And we roll on. Mally Mal saying Pistons first quarter team total over is a good bet. We got DC Capper on the San Diego State, Boise State under 57 here in this one. So, and Nut Flush is still hitting these Ivy props week in and week out. Yes, Brunson is in, Nate. Not flushing. They're making him pay minus 128 now for the over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been cashing with that game in and game out right now. And I should be getting involved. He's been trying to get me involved. I've just been sitting back watching him cash. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. We have Justin McKelvey's stacks play of the day here. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Sacramento Kings 2-2, 1-1 on the road at the Atlanta Hawks. 2-3, 2-1 at home at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. And the stacks play of the day is De'Aaron Fox. Over 5.5 assists at minus 108 for our guy, Justin. Shout out to Stacks.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Aaron Gaza moving on these Sacramento Kings this evening. Let's just take a second look at the injury report here because it's such a mess with the Hawks. Cody Zeller out, so we can't watch him run the floor. That's all he can do. Hunter out as well. Of course, Bogdanovich out. Krejci out as well. So they're a banged up group. So they have David Roddy at small forward, Rissaker at it's the French. How do you pronounce that again? I always screw up the French pronunciation of his. I'll get it. I'll figure out. 19-year-old number 1 overall pick in 2024, and I can't pronounce his name. Kind of ass clown am I. Okay, so let's get into the line history here for this one. Celtics, Hornets. We have a 10. Oh, sorry. Jeez, I'm tripping. Kings, Hawks. We have a 6.5. Sacramento is minus 6.5 at minus 105. Opened up at minus 5.5. So we have a 1-point move towards Sacramento with all of the injuries here. We have DeRozan over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Justin as well. Let's get into the total. So we have the 1-point move towards the Kings. And on the total, we are sitting here with a 236.5. This 236.5 is juiced to the under. It got up to 239.5. Wow, this at 240.5. Jesus, this went up to 240.5 before it started dropping. And then from the cash flow here, we have 46% of tickets, 46% of the cash on the Sacramento Kings. We do have the 1-point move towards them, and 41% of tickets and 62% of cash on the Riashi. Thank you, Riashi Gorky. Thank you, my friend. So take it away for us. Reese Ashe says, "Okay, I'll figure it out, fellas. Thank you." Take it away though. Sacramento Kings, Atlanta Hawks, State Farm Arena here for us. Take it away, my man.
Yeah, man, the Sacramento Kings team, man. What they do in the offseason, they go out and they grab my guy, DeMar DeRozan. He signed to a couple-year contract. He gets to come back to California. Not the team that everyone thought he was going to go to, but, man, he's a good fit for this team, I think, going forward for them because what does DeMar do, man? He can put the ball in the bucket, man, no matter what. He gets the free throw line. He hits the mid-ranges. He does whatever he can. He's a scorer, man. I mean, yeah, he likes to pass the ball a little bit now as well. I mean, you see him getting more assists each year, but man, this guy can score at will. I mean, hasn't been anyone in all of the NBA that's made me more money than DeMar DeRozan over the last couple of years. Time so far this year, I'm 2-1 with it. We got the loss last week. He scored 20 points after shooting 9 of 14 from the floor. He didn't shoot the ball in the last 4 minutes of the game against Utah. In that matchup, he should have gotten it, but he didn't end up getting it. I'm back to the well on this one, though, man. DeMar DeRozan, I got in last night, the over 21.5 minus 110. You could probably get a better number now, honestly. I think, especially with this Atlanta Hawks team, man, they don't like to play defense, man. I don't think anyone over there is going to really be able to guard this guy. He's going to be able to score whenever he wants. I mean, we saw Jordan Poole score whenever he wants against this Atlanta team the last couple weeks. So I don't think gives me more reason why DeMar DeRozan is going to get off here. Yeah, DeMar doesn't hit the 3 ball, but he gets the free throw line, man. If this guy gets the free throw line 10 times in a ball game, he's going to easily go over this because he's going to shoot the ball 15 times as well. Very efficient mid-range shooter. He likes to get to the bucket as well at times. He's still fast. I mean, this guy's 34, 35 years old. No one really talks about DeMar anymore. We were all talking about LeBron when he was this age playing the way he was. DeMar is playing at a really high level as well. Man, I've got some biases towards DeMar DeRozan, though. He's just my guy, man. He's made a ton of cash. So with that being said, man, we're on DeMar DeRozan over 21.5 points. I don't think many people on this Hawks team are going to be able to guard him, especially when he hits his mid-range, gets to the free throw line. I think he's going to get fouled a lot in this spot. So expect him to go well over this 21.5 points. He didn't get it in this last matchup. He only had 20, as I mentioned. He's going to get it here. They'll give me DeMar DeRozan over 21.5 points.
You got it locked in. This line doesn't really make sense with how bad the Hawks have looked. You lose by 24 to OKC, and then you lose a home and home with the Wizards.
Wizards, man, yeah.
So, I mean, yes, obviously the Kings are a much, much better basketball team, but something makes me uncomfortable in this spot. And I guess I'm just going to stay off. I can understand Robert Franny says Kings minus 6.5, Hawks are paid until further notice. That makes perfect sense, but this is just in my past in NBA capping, when things make perfect sense, I don't have a strong ROI. When I try to start trying to figure out what the market is, what the books want, what they want us to bet, that's when I start succeeding. When I am consciously aware that NBA is the trickiest sport to cap of all of them, that's when I start succeeding. When I'm like, oh, this is easy. Look, this Atlanta Hawks team's absolute trash. I'm going to take the Kings to cover a nice 6.5.
Yeah, that's why I can't take the Kings in this spot. I think the Kings win this 6.5, man. I don't know if they're going to be able to cover this spread, though. Do I think the Kings win this game? Probably. But I ain't laying them on the road in Atlanta, honestly. Because, yeah, like you said, I think this should be more of an 8.5. If you look at the floor, I mean, there's a lot of mismatches in this matchup. So, yeah, maybe the Hawks are the right side here, being at home, coming off 2 crushing losses to probably the worst team in the NBA the last 2 years in the Washington Wizards. They don't even have Kyle Kuzma right now. Maybe this Atlanta team plays a lot better in this game. We'll see.
Yeah, I can't get involved, but I can understand why anybody would be on the Sacramento Kings. It just doesn't work for me. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. We are here 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bulls 3-2, 2-1 on the road at the Brooklyn Nets, 2-3, 1-1 at home. We're at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Right now, we're waiting on Zach LaVine. He is listed as questionable with the shoulder issues, and then Patrick Williams listed as questionable with his right shoulder sprain here. The last thing you want, I think the last thing you want to do is have money on the Bulls and then see Julian Phillips, in the starting lineup here, or whether it be Torrey Craig or whomever. So Patrick Williams right now and LaVine are both questionable here for the Bulls Brooklyn spot. Let's get into the line history for this one. Of course, the Bulls with back-to-back wins, winning at home over Orlando 102-99, winning at Memphis 126-123. They've won 3 of their last 4 with that only loss coming at home to the Thunder. No shame in that. The Nets losing that 144-139 overtime game at home versus Denver. That was the last time they were at home. They traveled to Memphis and take them out 119-106. This is a pretty fascinating game, and until you know if LaVine's going to be in there, it's kind of uncomfortable here to move on it. Opening up at 221. Justin asking about that game that we just capped. It can't be asking about Sacramento. Which one are you talking about? Justin, which game are you talking about here? I guess you're talking about Chicago Brooklyn, because it opened up at 221's all the way climbed up. Yeah. Yes, this opened up at 221.5. Sorry, I was tripping there. And it's climbed all the way up to 226. But it climbed higher than that. It climbed to 227.5 before it dropped back to 226. And just after the show started, it went back to 226.5. So we have a 5-point move to the over here in Bulls Brooklyn, which is a giant move. And on the spread, we have Brooklyn minus 1.5 and minus 113. This opened up at 2, now 1.5. So why don't we take a look at the money line instead? Let's take a look at the money line instead and see what we're dealing with. God, sorry, it's taking too long. We have over here. We have Brooklyn right now minus 123. They opened up minus 124. This went down to minus 113. Tough. Jared TG says that's interesting. He's found NBA to be the easiest to cap. Wow, that's really, it's just, it's I think I've always just had this real healthy fear of the NBA where I don't in other sports, but I do have some in football just because, we know books are making 90% of their cash off of that one sport. Let's get to the cash flow here for Bulls Nets. We have 84% of tickets and 86% of cash on the over. And clearly the market's respecting those bets as this total has just skyrocketed. Then we have on the money line, 34% of tickets, 61% cash on the Bulls. On the spread, 41% of tickets and 44% of let's go stay with the Bulls. 59% of tickets, 56% of cash here. Take it away for us. This is a tricky one. Bulls, Nets, Barclays Center.
Yeah, it's a tricky matchup right here, Jim. Yeah, if Levine play, there's a lot of question marks on who's going to play. That's our questions a lot in these NBA games until a couple hours before the game. If Levine plays in this one, I probably lean towards the Bulls a little bit. But as you mentioned about the NBA, man, the NBA is definitely a sport that, you definitely got to look at the market every single game, guys. These lines there's some lines that look super fishy in a lot of these games that you just have to look at the line. You got to look at the market a little bit and decide then. That's what I do in a lot of these games. I got nothing in this one. We take a look at the Brooklyn Nets, man. Dennis Schroeder averaging almost 25 points a game, 8.5 assists a game, playing really well right now. Probably looking to get traded here if this Brooklyn Nets team starts tanking a little bit. Cam Thomas averaging 27.5 points. All that guy likes to do is shoot. He doesn't like to give the ball to anybody else. He literally just goes out there and shoots the ball. Tough matchup, man. I got nothing in this game, honestly. No props or anything. A lot of question marks if Levine and Williams are going to play. I question the Bulls' depth, their bench. I don't think their bench is very good. So if those guys don't play, I definitely think the Brooklyn Nets are going to be live in this spot. We're seeing them as favorites for a reason. I don't think this Brooklyn Nets team is that good by any means. They're coming off a big win against Memphis, 13-point win. Don't get me wrong. Losing to Denver before that, beating Milwaukee before that. Some impressive wins for this Brooklyn Nets team, But yeah, I'm staying off this game.
I'll tell you, I know this is the third spot where I'm going to need to wait on some information. But if Williams is in, Levine is out, I'm going to move on the Bulls. But I need that to happen. I need Williams in. So let me just take these notes. If Williams is in, Levine.
Yeah, it's Levine's shoulder too.
But he looked terrible last game.
Yeah,
I'll just take the better number with him out, and then take the Nets on a Friday night at home. They're feeling good about themselves after that big win in Memphis.
Yeah, you're right.
And Robert Martin saying Brooklyn lay it. I get it, but I really want I'll just say it again. Williams in, Levine out. I will be on the Chicago Bulls. Let's move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern with the LA Lakers at the Toronto Raptors, Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. See what we are dealing with here at line history. We have the Lakers coming off an ugly loss to the Cavs. Very, very ugly loss to the Cavs. Anthony Davis is expected to play. I know he's listed as a game time decision right now. Emmanuel Quickly is not going to play for the Raptors. D'Angelo Russell also probable to play as well. So we expect to have Russell in, AD in, and Quickly out. Of course, the Raptors have a ton of other injuries with Scotty Barnes out, Bruce Brown out, Kelly Olynyk out. This is as ugly of a basketball team as you could possibly imagine. And you probably have an angry Lakers squad, but this is just a 9. So, I'm surprised that's just 9. It's opened up at 8, went to 8.5. Now it's a 9. Sure, the Raptors are trying, but if the Lakers can pick whatever number they want to cover by, this total opened up at 229. It initially started dropping and then it started climbing here. Ron Crawford, NBA play of the day is Toronto +9. Play of the day here for Toronto +9. Also, Rod Zwacky says bet on Billy Donovan in road games on the money line off an upset win as a home underdog. Donovan's record as coach, Chicago 11-3. I want Chicago. I do want Levine out and Williams in. I don't want them both out, even though I wouldn't hate it. NBA play of the day here for Ron Crawford in Toronto +9. How in the world are the Lakers not ready to play off the jump here? Aren't they going to take a lead on this terrible Raptors squad after a no-show performance? LeBron likes coming up to Toronto. You'd think that he'd be able to deliver. They've lost 2 straight games on the road. They're not going to smash and grab first quarter, first half. You know, I find now. I don't want to sit here and double down on the spot, but we have 45% of tickets, 46% of cash on the Lakers. Why wouldn't people be trusting the Lakers to step up here after two bad performances? Take it away, Wine Time. Curious to hear your thoughts on this one. Lakers, Raptors, Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah, Lakers coming off 2 back-to-back losses, I mean, they haven't beaten any team by double digits this year, give or take. This is probably the weakest opponent they face this year. They are going on the road to Toronto. We already mentioned LeBron loves playing in Toronto. He likes going there. Interesting matchup, man. They opened up at an 8.5. We're at a 9.5 right now. Do I think the Lakers have the roster to blow these guys out by double digits? Absolutely. Do I think they do it in this spot? I don't know. It's tough, man. I haven't seen the Lakers blow out a team yet this season. 3 impressive wins on their resume at home. Don't get me wrong. They look good in those games. Look dominant pretty much from start to finish in those. Tough matchup, though, man. 9.5, man. Whenever I see double digits for the Lakers over the years with LeBron James, I've kind of just – I always take a second look at it. Maybe I'm just going to stay off this game or take that team at the double digits because it's always hard for the Lakers to cover these kind of spreads, in my opinion, just from watching the Lakers over the years, especially with LeBron. Do I think the Lakers are going to win this game? Absolutely. And do I think they can beat these guys by 15 to 20 points? Yeah, sure. Do I think they do it? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't have a play in this game. I could only lean probably towards Toronto just because I think getting double digits at home against a Lakers team, they are angry coming off a blow-off loss to Cleveland, so JJ Redick should have these guys ready to go. I like what JJ's doing over there, but it's a tough matchup, man. Dude, this is tough. Lakers win this game. I don't know if they cover it. I'm going to stay off this game, though.
God, why? How do they not come to play here? They haven't won a game on the road all year. I mean, they've only played 2.
0-2, yeah.
But I mean,
0-1?
0-2, yeah. They lost to Phoenix and then lost at Cavs. They've lost the first 2 games of this road trip. I mean, what would get in the way of this here? It's not a back-to-back. They get to go out and party in Toronto. We got great clubs here. They're going to be taken care of. They head to Detroit. They play Detroit on Monday so they can get, go out, smash and grab, and go out and have some drinks. Everybody's saying no way I lay close to this number with the Lakers, and I'm with Rod. I'm here with Rod. I'm like, God, I can't. Why wouldn't
it's tough for me to lay double digits with my late. Like if I wasn't a fan of this team, probably would lay it with them, but it's hard for me to watch this game and be like, okay, I need the Lakers to win this game by 10 points against a team that they very well should. I've just seen it so many times over the years with them.
Well, I tell you what, I can't triple up. I would just be too uncomfortable. But I'm going to take the Lakers first quarter, first half. They're going to come in here. They're going to play some good basketball. It's going to be sold out against the G League opponent. So, it's sold out. You're coming off 2 losses. Not flush out. I'm looking at that team total over. So I'm going to take Lakers first quarter, first half. And then if the Raps want to fight hard in the second half and have a backdoor cover, I'm with you, Rod. I would like to triple up. I would have to drop my unit size to probably 200 would be the max that I would be able to do if I triple up there. And I just feels like a little much early in the season. So I'm just going to go first quarter, first half. This is my first spot where I don't need to wait on injury information here. I guess the magic is that too, but I kind of want to see if we can get to 8 there. Okay. Let's roll on. Next up for us, we had the Pacers Pelicanos, Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Pacers 2-3, 1-2 on the road. Pelicans 2-3, 1-0 at home. Let's get into the line history for this one. We have the Pelicans +2 at -106. This opened up at +1.5, so we've had a half-point move towards the Pacers here. The Pelicans is banged up as the Raptors. DeJounte out, Murphy out, McCollum out, Herb Jones out. Then we have game time decisions, with Dice, whether or not he'll be available. Let's find out right now. We have questionable still, no update on that. But we thought, when he hurt his ankle that he was going to be out for a little while. So we just have a very, very, very banged up Pelicans squad. And the Pacers dealing with some game time decisions too. Miles Turner is questionable. With all the bigs out for the Pelicans, I mean, there's no real reason. Now you are 2-3, but there's no reason to rush him back. And then Nembhard is questionable as well. Let's get into the total here for this one. From a total side of things, we have this. Oh, that's first half. My apologies. First half, by the way, is at 115, juice to the over. Full game for the total, we have this one at 232.5. Which seems low for a Pacers game. This opened up at 233, got up to 234.5 before it dropped down to 232 flat. So we've come back up a half point. When we get to the cash flow here, we have 61% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on the Pacers on the spread. And we have 73% of tickets, 57% cash on the over, 27% of tickets and 43% of cash on the under. And the markets really seem to respect that with the move towards the under as it went up to 234.5 and then dropped down to 232.5. The Pacers were on a 3-game losing streak, and then they stepped up at home against the Celtics. The Pelicans have lost 3 straight. They lost badly to the Warriors back-to-back nights in San Francisco. They played 4 straight road games, so they finally come back. They're a beaten-up group. This is generally speaking, I would want to fade the Celtics here. Fade the Pacers here after the overtime win against the Celtics, but I don't know if I can pull the trigger. Take it away here for us, Wine Time. Pelicans at home on a 3-game losing streak against a Pacers team that just stopped their 3-game losing streak. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's tough to it's tough to back this Pelicans team without a couple of their guys that they're missing right here. I mean, you still got Brandon Ingram and Williamson in the lineup. I do think Theis will be playing in this one, but you already touched on it. I mean, they're missing Herb Jones, they're missing CJ McCollum. They're missing a lot of key pieces over there right now. And we're seeing this line move. I mean, it was opened up at a -2. It's at a 4.5, probably because of this injury news. We're seeing, if we're looking at the market, we're seeing about 61% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on them, and the line's moving in favor of them. I do think sharper money is coming in on them. I think Pacers could probably smash these guys up. I don't have a play in this one as of right now. Definitely leaning towards the Pacers side. I mean, Pelicans, man, that a couple games ago, the first game they played Golden State, they were in control of that entire first half. And that second half, Buddy Hield just came out and shot the lights out of the ball, man. Had like 22 points in that second half. And, Pelicans just had no answer, man. They've kind of got 2 guys over there that can score right now. That's Ingram and Williamson. And, Zion, man, he's 1 injury away from being out for the season. So it's like if you continue to give him a big load, how long is he really going to last this season, considering his injury history over the last couple of years? Pacers, man, they've got a good – you look at the starting 5, man, they got a good starting 5. They got a 3-headed monster over there, Miles Turner, Siakam, and Halliburton. They got some guys that can play defense over there as well. I do see that Nembhard is questionable. And Miles Turner, we'll see if they end up playing. I think they do end up playing. And the Pacers most likely blow these guys out on the road. But I'm going to stay away from this one. I got nothing in this one.
Yeah, it's a tricky. I do not want the Pacers after beating the world champions.
Yeah, it's tough, especially in overtime. Yeah, it was a big win for them, and then they go on the road here in New Orleans. It's a tough spot here. This is a game I want nothing to do with.
Let's roll on. A big one. 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Denver Nuggets 2-2, undefeated on the road. Haven't won at home. The Minnesota Timberwolves 2-2, 1-1 at home. We're at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Nuggets coming off back-to-back overtime wins. They needed overtime to beat Toronto and overtime to beat Brooklyn. This is not a good start for this team. They're putting so much energy to get victories here. Of course, they started their season with home losses against the Thunder and the Clippers. The Timberwolves come off a 121-14 loss at home versus Dallas. Dagger-type situation there from Luka. What a shot that was. It's still, you close your eyes and you can see it. What a monster he is. This total opened up at 218.5. It's gone up a point to 219. 4.5. We get to the spread here for this one. We have Minnesota minus 4.5 at even money. This opened up at 4 and went up to 4.5 for the Timberwolves. Aaron Gordon is probable to play, so there's no concerns there. Cash flow wise, you have a real 50-50 spot. 52% of the tickets, 51% of cash on the Wolves. 89% of the tickets, 79% cash on the over. This is a fun one. Take it away. Nuggets, Timberwolves.
Yeah, this is a game I really want to get on right now. I want to take the Minnesota Timberwolves so bad in this spot here, being at home, man. Coming off a loss. I mean, we know this team doesn't like to lose. They got two really competitive guys over there in Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. Those guys are two very competitive players. Julius Randle's way more competitive than Karl Anthony Towns. I think it was a big upgrade for them over there in Minnesota with this offense. I think he's going to do good things for him, especially with his range from three, man. This guy, when he's got that open shot, when he's getting hot, man, this guy can hit any shot on the floor. It's kind of crazy to see, man. But with that being said, man, playing at home, coming off a loss, Denver having a couple days off, coming off, scoring a lot of points against a Brooklyn Nets team that doesn't play a lot of defense. They scored almost 150 against them. And what are they coming off 3 days rest here? Damn, that's kind of crazy. But they are heading on the road here to a Minnesota team that's going to be angry coming off a loss. I think Minnesota's going to be able to take care of business here, being at home. I think Ant's going to have a hell of a night here. I think Julius Randle's going to have a hell of a night here too. I think losing KCP to this for this Denver team's kind of a big hit for them on their defensive side of the ball as well. And their wide open threes. Yeah, Christian Brown can give you good defense and can hit those open threes, but he doesn't have the quite veteran leadership that KCP had. I think that they might end up missing him in the long run. Minnesota, man, they got a lot of guys over. I mean, Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle can all put the ball in the bucket. McDaniels can hit the three ball and can play some really good defense. Gobert's our reigning defensive player of the year. Mike Conley, a veteran guy that hasn't been able to really score the ball these last couple seasons. It's kind of weird to see, like, he used to be able to, like, when he had an open shot, man, he was making that every single time a couple years ago. And nowadays, it seems like he's really missing a lot of these open shots. If he gets it going, man, this team's going to be very dangerous again this season, this Minnesota Timberwolves team. They've got Anthony Edwards. The guy's competitive as hell. He's not going to want to lose 2 games in a row. Give me the Minnesota Timberwolves minus the 4. I think they're going to beat these guys by double digits at home here. It's going to be a blowout in this matchup, I think.
They both have interesting games tomorrow. You have Minnesota going to San Antonio to take on Wemby. You have Denver at home against a very easy opponent in Utah. I like where you're at here. Let's line shop Robert Franklin on it as well.
I haven't moved on it yet. I haven't given it out on Twitter or anything. So whatever number you can find me at a -4, I'll take it.
Yeah, Will Hill with the -4 at -110. Heritage Will Hill minus, but yeah, I can get you -4 at -108.
Let's do it.
DC Capper looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves. Rod Zweig says bet against Denver when playing their 3rd road game in 5 days.
Yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention too. I had that written down in my notes, man. Yeah, this is a tough spot for Denver, dude. This is a tough spot.
So why is this line not moving towards them more? Now it is at some books. Some books have moved this to 4.5 from 4. I like backing Minnesota off of the loss. I wonder why this is. With what we've seen from the Nuggets, you would think this would be a little bit bigger line, but I'm interested in joining you. I mean, we talked about we talked about the first half of a back-to-back, and we didn't really hit it hard enough in that Magic Cavalier spot because Cleveland heads to Milwaukee against an angry Bucks team. Coming off a debacle, you have to think that even bodes well for the Magic.
I might end up getting on Magic.
It bodes well for the under as well. I don't know why this climbing. And even here with the Nuggets and Timberwolves knowing that they got to play tomorrow night, you would think that the deeper bench and the under would be in play. But okay, I get why you're on the Timberwolves. Coming off the loss, angry group, Nuggets off back-to-back overtime games. I guess it's a must bet, but I would like to see this already at 5.5, All right, Wine Time moving on to Timberwolves. I think I join them. Let's get into our final spot on the board here before we race horses. 10 p.m. Eastern. Oklahoma City Thunder, undefeated on the year, 4-0, 2-0 on the road. The Portland Trailblazers, 2-3, 1-2 at home. Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Let's take a look at the line history here. Oh, I already had it up. Sorry. We have Oklahoma City double-digit favorites. They opened up -11 at -105. Right now, they're -11 at -110. So just 5 cents of movement towards them. When we get to the total here, we have a 221. This opened up at 222, dropped a point to 221. Let's take a look at the injury situation here. Thibault out, of course, and Williams out. Both Williams, not the important ones. 2 Williams out, but not the important one in Oklahoma City. And then Hartenstein out as well. So it's Chet Williams, Dort, Wallace, Shea. It's exactly what they want here. And then we'll get into the cash flow and the X's and O's here for our final spot on the board. So Oklahoma City is playing in Portland tonight against a bad basketball team. And then they get on a plane immediately and head to Los Angeles to face the Clippers tomorrow night. Portland has the same issue. As soon as this game's over, they head to Phoenix and they play tomorrow night. So, I mean, generally speaking, in this situation, although you'd probably prefer that Portland wasn't, also in the first half of back-to-back, but the Thunder do not care to win this by margin, which is all they've been doing. If you look at them, they beat Denver in Denver by 15. They win in Chicago by 19. They win at home versus Atlanta by 24. Yeah. And they win at home over San Antonio by 12. Now they're on the first of a back-to-back, the second game of 3 games in 4 nights. It just doesn't feel like a spot where they would be, winning by margin. You have a 50-50 situation, which is another surprise. 50% of the tickets, 53% of the cash on Oklahoma City, 87 and 86 on the over, which is a bit of a surprise. And then, you have Portland coming off an important victory at the Clippers. Is this a team that's capable of winning 2 games in a row? Probably not. Take it away, Wine Time. Let me hear your thoughts. Thunder, Blazers.
Yeah, tough matchup, man. I mean, this OKC team, man, I mean, they do have a lot of young guys in this lineup. I mean, their legs all should be ready to go here. Adding Caruso was a big part too. Portland, on the other hand, got another young team. I mean, I wouldn't say young, but I mean, a lot of guys that are still somewhat in their prime. I think my light just went out. But with that being said here, man, I don't have a play in this game. You mentioned it, OKC, man. Do they need to beat these guys by 10 plus? I don't necessarily think so. Does Portland have the shooters that can stay in this game in their starting lineup? Yeah, I mean, Simons could always go off for 30 to 40 points on any given night. DA, I mean, we've seen him. He's soft as hell, man. But, I mean, we see him put up 15 to 20 points as well. We see Jeremiah Grant, too, can hit the 3-ball. Odvia, another guy that can put the ball in the bucket. They're playing in Portland here. Both teams have to get on a plane after this. Tough matchup, man. I wouldn't lay 11.5 with OKC in this spot. Yeah, they've been blowing these teams out by 10 plus, but maybe this is a spot where Portland can get a backdoor cover. They end up losing this game maybe by 8 or 9 points, and they end up covering this game. I have a lean towards Portland Trailblazers in this spot, but I got nothing sidewise, nothing official on this game.
I don't want Portland after they shoot 42.4% from 3, win in Los Angeles, and feel good about themselves.
Yeah, coming a big win for them in that matchup too. Yeah.
So I do not expect the Thunder to need to win by margin, and I don't want Portland I never want them to feel good about themselves. So let's review all action here and tighten everything up for me. Again, sure. Justin McKelvey, Stacks Play of the Day, De'Aaron Fox. We've got great stuff coming in the chat from Rod Zawacki and from our friend Dan Kelly. We stayed off of Celtics Hornets. Then the card gets started with Wine Time on the under 216. Now, he tweeted that out. You can get a better line now in Magic Cavaliers. Of course, the Cavaliers heading to Milwaukee to face an angry Bucks squad tomorrow night. I'm going to be on the Magic. The question is, when do I bet it? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Then wine time on the Pistons +7. If Karl Anthony Towns is out of the lineup, I'm betting the Knicks. I have to wait on that. Wine time on my guy, DeMar DeRozan, whom we love up here. I mean, the thing about getting rid of DeRozan was it got us an NBA championship.
Yeah.
But we actually had a player that wanted to play in Toronto.
Yeah.
A guy from LA who wants to play in Toronto.
I mean, Jim, he just had to get by LeBron. I mean, LeBron wasn't there that year, you guys. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I thought the Raptors had a chance so many years in that era, man, with DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, man. I loved watching Toronto in those years with those two guys, man. It just seemed like it was just LeBron James. That's one man, you know. It sucks, yeah. But love DeRozan.
In Toronto, we have to take advantage of when a player, a high caliber, elite American wants to actually play in Toronto. That's all.
He loved it there, man. He loved it.
Fat Panda, by the way, on the Florida Panthers here. So for Bulls, Brooklyn, again, this is a simple situation for me. Williams in, Levine out, betting the Bulls. But I need that. Now, if they're both in, I probably bet the Bulls, actually. So let
me too. I mean, that's what I would lean towards. But
I don't need Levine.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up staying off that game because Levine's shoulder, if he does play, I don't know if that shoulder's okay. That's his injury, so we'll see.
Spenny penny bombs on Giddy triple double at 16-1. Okay, I'm gonna bet Lakers first quarter and first half as soon as this show's over. NBA play of the day for Ron Crawford is Toronto +9. Pacers, Pelicans, we stayed off. Wine times on the Timberwolves -4, -108, and I'll join them. And then we are off for Thunder, Portland, Trailblazers. That is our NBA action for Friday, November 1st. Wine time. Thank you for rocking with us, my friend. If you would ever like to join us on our horse racing stream and just tell us what you're on, what you're looking at, or anything, we'll be live with the horses starting at 5:30 p.m. tonight and all day tomorrow. Please support our guy, Wine Time Sports, delivering the goods nonstop for us, crushing college football. And I will go over your college football again. And now capping NBA with me on Fridays. I'm going to pop his handle here in the chat. So please support our guy. Wine time, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat, man, supporting us in here. DC Capper, Dan Kelly, Robert Martin, Daby Cab, my guy. Can't wait to break these games down with you more on Saturday. Rod, as always, Smart Money Bets. I believe that's my guy, Jimmy G, right there. Good to see you, my guy. Yeah, guys, give me a follow on X at Wine Time Sports, man. I'm going to be locked in for these games. I'm actually going to be going to a high school football game tonight. I'm going to be going to Lakewood at Woodrow Wilson.
Oh, wow.
Got a kid. Give him a look at this game. Maxwell Barbie, wide receiver for Woodrow Wilson. I coached him when he was about 8 to 9 years old, about 9 years ago. I have a picture of him on my Instagram saying this kid's going D1. And he's leading his conference right now with 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Oh, wow.
Playing some big time ball, man. So I'm excited. I haven't seen him in years, so I'm going out to the game today. We'll see if he recognizes Coach Jordan out there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be fun. Oh,
that's so dope, man. That's so dope. Well, have a great time there. That's so cool, man. And Birdie's another coach of elite athletes as well. I love that stuff. Absolutely love that stuff. Wine time. Thank you for your time, my guy. I will be in touch, my friend. And thank you for all your hard work.
Appreciate you, Jim.
There he is, Wine Time Sports. All right, and Jimmy Gomez, another LA capper. Great guys. All right, let's review all action here on the show. We got plays of the day from Ron Crawford. Sabres, Raptors, and Florida Atlantic. Skunk Blaster, play of the day, Yale money line, and he's heavy on Florida Atlantic. It's clear Florida Atlantic is sharp. I just don't know if it's enough for me to pull the trigger. I'm on the Argonauts double result. I got -134. It's available right now, -130. And I am going to move on the first half under now in Lions Rough Riders with my friend Jim Duiger. And I hope we get paid, Jim, my man. And Fat Panda saying FAU should rock South Florida. So then we move on to NHL. I'm going up against... Okay, I'm staying off of the Global Series, Panthers, Stars. There's Mel in the house. Great to see you, Mel. Hope all's well your way. I'm staying off of it. I just find this whole thing coin flippy. I guess I if I had a free bet, I'd be on the under 6. I wonder if there's maybe a little bit of added pressure on Barkov and the Panthers. We have 4 Finnish players on Florida, 3 on Dallas, and then of course the one from Tampere is Alexander Barkov. I just our guy saying goals for Jimmy Go. So I'm off. I'm off that. I'm not having a good year right now. I will change that around. Mark my words. But I got my year off to a shit start because of Global Series. So I'm on the other side of everybody. I'm on the Islanders, and we've now heard that Barzal has traveled to back home due to shoulder injury. He had a goal and assist last game, so this was not reported. This was nowhere to be found until the show was on, and so I'll tell you what. Obviously, I feel like a bit of an ass for not having that information. This show is all about information, and I didn't have it, and you guys know I love backing teams when their star players out, but I would have preferred to have bet it at a number that shows that the star player's out. Now that number is here at plus 100. I got it at plus 101, so it's not a big move for a star player being out. I think the Islanders rally around this. Also, Levi in net for the Sabres. I'm on the Rangers -1. They've lost 2 of 3 hockey games. And Ottawa comes in off this 8-1 victory. I really like it for the Rangers here. They've got to you want great teams when they're being held accountable. You don't want, in every sport, you want a great team when they need to show something. It's a great betting situation. I think the Rangers are in it. I can understand people backing the Jackets with Comrie and that I'm not doing it. I'm on the Lightning at Minnesota. I'm going to fade these teams off of long trips. And it didn't work with Carolina. We have an even longer trip for Minnesota. And again, we had some really nice angles from Rod's Wacky while he's backing the Lightning. Devils Flames, I'm off. I'm off of college football. But Wine Time's on the under 48.5 in South Florida, Florida Atlantic. And oh, no, I'm not. We're on the Genty under 25.5 rush attempts. I forgot about that. That's still available. Same number. I haven't tweeted that out yet, so I got to remember to tweet that out. But that was bet -105. Got that bet 365. Let me make sure I can see it right. And then Daby Cab gave us 2 spots. Ohio State first half -2.5, -110. And Hoover, not the president, but the quarterback, over 296.5 passing yards. Justin McKelvey, DeAndre Fox over 5.5 assists is the stacks play today. We just went over all of NBA, so we don't need to rehash that. That is our show for today. DC Capper also on the Islanders and the under 6. I like that. And Birdie says, I agree with Jimmy, though. Says Flyers are a buy here. I really like that angle. Whatever people think about Torts, he is still really good. And for as long as he is head coach, he's going to do all he can to win. 81.5 points, season over. That's just a casher. It's, we don't get many spots like this. And I watch this team. I watch hockey every single night. The Flyers have more first-round picks than any team in the NHL. If you bet the over 81.5 points, you're going to cash that, which gives you a free roll on something else. And I'm using that free roll on the Flyers to win or to make the playoffs at plus 425. I watch this Flyers team. I watch them close. I watch this young talent. And you know why I watch them so much? Because I'm a little confused. I've always hated the Flyers, and I'm a little confused. I was betting their season win totals under each year, and I think I've lost it 2 years in a row. And I've been watching what am I not seeing? And it's this influx of young talent. And part of the reason why I was fading them was because I don't think Tortorella handles young talent well. He has softened up in his old age. So, it is time to race, and it is time to set up for Breeders' Cup. We have Breeders' Cup popping off in about 3 hours here. So you did try to do that, Birdie. You did. It was a mistake. Oh, and I have I have lost Jose. We have lost Jose. So I know you guys. I know we did our vote. We did our vote here. Let's see if Jose is going to come back to us here. While that's happening, Kelly McKinnon said, I wish Rebenga worked for my horse, Jimmy. He must have been from the short buses of horses, but at least I can lose twice today. 170 coming. Kelly, I thought you won. Oh, you won it on Medicate Mondays. That must have been it. You won it on Medicate Mondays. Because I thought you had won it. All right, we got Jose Bouquet back in business. Let's welcome him. Been a while since I've seen him. Please welcome our friend coming to us from San Antonio, Texas, Jose Bouquet. How are you, my man?
Excuse me. I'm doing all right. I can't complain. A good Thursday night football stream. Shout out to Spenny, Billy, and everyone that joined. Spenny cashed out on several props, so shout out to him. And I took the Jets in the contest, thankfully, and that was nice.
So did I.
Yeah,
so did Bobby. So I didn't.
Damn you, Bobby. But yes, it was nice to see everyone. Nice to see you, Jimmy. We have not one, but 2 horse races today.
Beautiful.
Very interesting to watch.
You can win both. If you win, you're still in the second one.
Sure.
Oh, there's my guy, Jim Dewigger down at the bottom. How many gold members do we have, Jose?
83 gold members, 82 participants. Shout out to our mystery man.
If we can get to 100, I can take to the table. I can say, listen, Jeff, can we up? But we need to get to 100. We're at 83. Thank you to all our gold members.
Yes, and we've been in the 80s for a little bit now. So tell your friends, tell your family, sign up for PSR Gold. And shout out to Jim, who's also a Red Sox fan. So I like Jim as well. But let's get going here, Jimmy. The first of our 2 horse races. And it's going to be exciting because these horses run here today. Randall Sheffield, Justin McKelvey, Torrey Coker, Oldie, George Wood, all up in the mix here. No City of Troy. Maybe we'll wait for that for tomorrow.
God, I'm excited.
Randall Sheffield in the lead right now. Torrey Coker, Jason Meyer. Yesterday on the stream, Jimmy, that's the only horse I know in the Breeders' Cup, so I kept telling Spenny, City of Troy, and Rude Boy is looking like him right now, and so is Al Cervic.
Al Cervic blowing into the blowing, maybe not the O'Brien Palmer and Saturated. Look at Saturated. NJ Striker, our friend NJ Striker now is Res Mob, Joey Marinaccio. This is very, very God, I'm losing my mind. We have Crystal Craig here, NJ Striker, Crystal Craig. I better do a better job calling these races here in a second. TJ trying to move quickly to the front. There's Big Show Picks trying to get to the wire. Who's going to be $50?
Nasty!
Is he going to do it? Is he actually going to do it? No, he's not. The nuke worker. $50 richer is our friend, the nuke worker. Nasty Nate was about to break the offer.
Oh, that hurts.
That hurts.
Shout out to Nuke, who cashed out, went 2-1 yesterday on his props, both plus money.
Nice.
And luckily for me, the one he didn't cash, Aaron Rodgers interception. He did make it known that Aaron Rodgers not his favorite quarterback.
Yes, but we got paid in full. Cash the under easily. Catch the Jets finally.
Yeah, it only took like 4 weeks.
Look at Nuke. He says, throw it back in the pot.
So now are we back? Are we back?
$100 now. $100. It's too bad he didn't say just give it to second.
I would have, Nasty Nate. I think Nasty Nate would have taken.
You can't say now. Yeah, 2-3. I'm very close. I just want a little bit more information injury-wise, but I'm very close to being on the Bulls. All right, we race again.
Are we back just at a $100 horse race? Is that what we just came back?
$100 horse race all of a sudden. $100 on the line here.
Man, that's hilarious. We voted and all that just to come back right to where
it was so funny. When Nasty Nate took the lead, I knew someone was going to come usurp.
Yeah, I knew it. That was a shame. That was the closest Nasty Nate's come. But can he do it again, Jimmy? Can he do it again and finish in the top 3 here? Connor Mack picks Nut Flush, Allen, Sammy Colmer, Joseph Thompson, Dutch Boy Fresh, and stacking cream all in the mix here, Jimmy. This is just an appetizer for you. These horses and thoroughbreds are going to be real deal here in about a few hours. BT in the mix. Ricky Bobby up there and TJ up at the top coming down the track, Jimmy.
Jimmy the Bag moving forwardly, but I need him to push here. Go with Fanatical Jim, but I'm moving forwardly. I'm trying to get in this race. Been a while since I messed around and took a dub, and I'm coming for, oh no, there I go. Top Set in the lead. Top Set trying to find the wire. Big O in second. I'm that heat in third. Rod's whacking fourth, and here comes the Sweaty Butcher and Jim Dewigger. Duiger firing up the inside. Can Jim Duiger get home? Can Jim Duiger do it? Al Cervic trying to get to the wire here. And it's Juan Ruiz, number 4.
Juan Ruiz.
4-time champion.
Wow. That's tough.
Wow.
Juan Ruiz, congratulations to you. You know what hurts, Jimmy? Rem Mose's tone has completely shifted on Helga. Oh no. Saying, I hope Helga's horses loses. Oh no.
What happened?
Rem, let us know what happened.
Oh no.
That hurts, Rem.
I am going to message right now our friend Juan. Tell him he's now our first 4-time champion. Juan Chavez won last 2 weeks ago. But Juan Ruiz, you are a 4-time champion.
The first of your name.
And $100 was up for grabs.
Yeah. Shout out to old nuke worker there. Jimmy, we have some questions that people are dying to know.
Sure.
How was trick-or-treating last night?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. They had so much fun, and we went to a great area where houses were very close to each other. Got a ton of candy, and Carter was having so much fun. Then he got exhausted. Which is was expected. And then Ella had so much fun. Ella's best friend came, met up with us, and then they were just, it's perfect. And also, it was the warmest Halloween of my lifetime. It was 22 Celsius. And I know you need Fahrenheit.
Yeah, you just told me 22 Celsius, and I'm just like, all right.
It was
burning
72 Fahrenheit. I mean, it was the warmest I've just never ever, like, it's always freezing cold. It was just perfect. It was a great night, and the kids had a lot of fun, and it was just extremely enjoyable.
Did you dress up?
I did not.
Yeah, we took bets, and we said that there was a 90% chance that you were not dressed up in an outfit.
I guess I did once. I did once with Fong. We dressed up, but the best Halloween costume ever, and I've shown it to you before, was when Ella was a year old, and she was me, and Fong was Pete Loshak, and they went to the Christmas party, and Loshak wasn't there.
Well, that's
or Christmas party, Halloween party. Yeah, Loshak wasn't. Now, supposedly Loshak did show up. Yeah, Rem 22. It was absolutely incredible. Okay, it's time to start prepping. I got to get my action in, and then I got to do some more work for horses. We're popping off in 3.5 hours for horses. We could have started early. I wanted to make sure that I did this show because I'm only doing it 2 days a week right now, and we could have started earlier. But yeah, what's up?
I forgot to ask you another question, but it can come at the end of this soliloquy. You go on.
Thank you for calling the soliloquy.
Of course.
It's very kind of you.
Of course.
Respecting theater schools everywhere. There's not much more. It's time. I went as the public.
That's good. That's good, Rez. That's good. What were our Cappers contest picks? How did it go? I didn't get to watch the program.
It's hard.
I just imagine you just freaking out internally and externally. I found it.
It was pretty smooth. You gave me perfect instructions, and our show ended with enough time for me to kind of gather myself. So no, it went. It was.
What are our picks?
Smooth. These are our picks. So let me just move over to.
It hurts my feelings, guys, that we weren't on the Jets, but we'll
I know. I tried to push the Jets, but. Oh wait, no. I have my own thing for a Cappers contest now. Yes, Cappers contest Thursday, October 31st. Pull up this worksheet. Okay, so the Jets were 64%, so it wasn't bad. We are also. Did you see my tweet? I probably should have tagged you on it.
No.
I put out the tweet of where we stand. We're 2019-1, so we're in the black. We are 2006 out of 5,816. So our number one pick was the Rams -1.5 at 79%. I like it.
Okay.
Our number two pick, Lions -3 at 77%. Now Jordan Love looks like he's going to play, which is good, but we would rather have a better number. We're all favorites like we were last week, and we went 4-1 last week. We would have gone 5-0 if you guys had to listen. If they had to listen to me in the tiebreak, right? We had the Eagles; they were winning, and then the Chiefs usurped it.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills -6 is third. All these were over 70%. And then in fourth, it was a tie between the Chargers and the Commanders, 73%. So Rams, Lions, Bills, Chargers, Commanders.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do this week yet. I have no idea. So that'll be very interesting. I was just glad that I got the Jets in there. So very nice. Yes, Nuke. Jimmy doesn't need me anymore, Nuke. His shackles are off. He's ready to go. He's,
No, I do need you, but I now know how to do polls.
Well, you're dangerous now. You might have to make some polls during the horse stream.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird now what you can do with this power.
Well, all I want to do is be sitting here with a drink in front of me, hammering the pawns.
The pawns, of course. By the way, I also said this yesterday. I have a new goal in my life. I have a new career goal. My goal is to get Dennis Garcia to join us on a live stream at some point in my life. And I need that.
I need you to know that when your greatest goal means absolutely nothing to the person that it involves,
sure,
it puts you in a
it puts me in a tough spot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have.
Do you think he cares now? Do you think he's like, well?
No, I think he cares even less now. But I'm shooting for the stars here. I'm going to coerce him, coax him into it somehow, some way.
Birdie came into Toronto and DG didn't even meet him for a coffee.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that. Right. I'm not. I mean, come on. I mean, you guys are like practically neighbors, and you guys will never see each other.
Oh no, I'm going to see him at some point. Okay. I'm going to find him.
Sure.
And then Spenny has seen him, and I wouldn't let Spenny tell me anything.
Yeah, I told Spenny this as well last night, and he said it probably wasn't going to happen, but I believe. Maybe tonight.
There's Birdie. He's in the chat. Yeah, Birdie was shocked.
Birdie, you shouldn't be shocked. Come on, that guy's a man of mystery.
Birdie's wife was nonplussed, I heard.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've said this now for 2 straight days. I haven't seen Dennis Garcia in the chat yet. So
well, he'll be here. If this was a horse show, he'd be in it right now.
Yeah, so I plan on jumping in at the horse show at some point when he's on, and I'm going to publicly tell him this, and he's going to just shake his head and be like, it's never happening.
Yeah, because one thing we know is that he doesn't care that you want to meet him.
No, not even a little bit.
No.
Maybe Nuke is right. Maybe we do need a PI.
Okay, I got it. Gerald Jones has already moved on that. Like, I got to get my action in. Enough of this. I got to get my action. We got to prepare for football. For horses. Jesus. You can tell I've had no sleep over the last few days. But my adrenaline is flying. I'm ready to rock. It's Breeders' Cup weekend. We start here in 3.5 hours, which is lots of time because I've got more work to do. I'm pretty much ready for today, but I'd like to start working on tomorrow. We are going to be capping tomorrow as we go. Jose, you'll be jumping on at some point over the next couple of days and hanging with us?
Yeah. I need to get to Dennis Garcia, obviously. This is the first plan here. This is my Operation Garcia.
Yeah, well, he could care less, my friend.
I'll dream. This is Operation Garcia is a full go.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. We have absolutely nothing without you guys. Coin, the Nuke Worker, Gerald Jones, Birdie, Thomas Maggio, Nasty Nate, Usurp. Yes, it's not spelled right.
A Canadian word?
No, it's not. It's just a word. Come on, man. Don't blame our country for your poor vocabulary. Fat Panda, Res Mob, Rem Most, Kelly McInnes, Action Jackson, Justin McKelvey. What a great group. Spenny, Penny Bombs, Usurped. You don't USURPED. You don't have Usurped. Jim Dewigger. Thank you guys. Nutflush Allen, Rod Zawacki. Great stuff today, Rod, as always. Christopher Tatum, Jay Peasy, Jay Go. All you guys. Robert Martin, thank you. Thank you, Wine Time, for all your hard work. Thank you, all you guys, man. Truly, truly. Now let's go out there and let's get that cash. Let's have a giant day of horses. So I will see you guys in 3 hours, man. I might start the stream a little bit earlier, too. I'm itching. Jose, thank you so much for having my back Thursday night, taking care of the live stream and doing it again Sunday night. Thank you so much because it's going to be a sauce-filled weekend here.
Yes, yeah. The surf and the turf.
I can almost taste it. Going to start with a little spiced rum today. Spiced rum Friday today. And then move on to different sauce tomorrow. But
let's just hope it's not cracking.
It's not. I almost got it. I was staring at it. I picked up the bottle and I was just like, I can't.
Yeah. For your family's sake, you can't. I guess that's interesting.
King Al wants a birthday pick. and I will oblige for my friend King Al. So what would be my favorite spot on the entire board then for King Al? My favorite spot on the entire board.
King Al, I got you here while Jimmy looks. Game 6 of the World's. Oh,
That was so ugly the way they lost. I mean, when the broadcaster said this is the worst performance by the New York Yankees in their playoff history.
That,
and you're like, Jesus, we're going back 100 plus years.
That goes a long ass ways. And the 20th anniversary of 2004 might disagree with them there, but you imagine losing a 5-run lead in the World
Okay,
Series.
Lakers first quarter.
All right, King Al, congratulations.
All right, I'm off. I got to get these bets, and I got to set up the horse show. I got to do a lot of fun stuff. So, happy birthday, King Al. Much love to you. Saturday says you're going to cook up a tasty pick 5. I've got one for today, but you really want one going into the classic. So,
of course.
Serpent. Okay. All right. Okay. Nasty Nate tried to usurp my ending here of the show, but I won't let him do it. Thank you guys so much. Jose, great to see you again, my friend. Let's go out there and get that cash. Please join us for horse racing here in 3.5 hours. But most importantly, let's milk these bookies. Let's check. Hey, los bookmakers. Let's get it.